Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another month, another edition here of the Amantes de StarCraft number 38, your monthly dose of Brazilian StarCraft. I'm of course AreZ VIP. With me, I'm joined by these amazing players, by the people in chat, and by my plushies as well. Welcome, welcome one and all. I do apologize for diverting from the schedule. For those that were aware, of course, we were scheduled to cast around an hour and a half ago. An hour and a half ago, we were going to be casting Code for Giants Cup, which is a different Brazilian tournament. Code for Giants Cup is a bi-weekly tournament. It is open, of course, to the Brazilian scene, and we do regularly host it on a bi-weekly basis. But if you're familiar with what's happening in the Brazilian scene right now, you would know that we spent the weekend covering the group stage of what is going to be an offline event. There's a big offline event happening in Brazil, happening in Sao Paulo, happening in June, and we have the open stage. The open stage was over the weekend. This upcoming in 2 weeks, I should say. In 2 weeks, we have the open stage, the group stage 2, and then the playoffs 2 weeks after that as well, leading up to the offline finals. So that is currently happening amongst the Brazilian scene, amongst Brazilian players, and because of that, because of the intensity, because of everything happening with that event, Code for Giants Cup here today was postponed. So Code for Giants Cup was postponed. That's why we didn't go live an hour and a half ago, and I don't know when it's going to come back. I don't know if it's going to come back after the offline event concludes or maybe in another 2 weeks. We'll see. But right now, a lot of the Brazilian players are focusing on preparing for those group stages and for those finals. There's a lot happening amongst the Brazilian players and amongst the Brazilian scene. Because of that, no Code for Giants Cup today, but instead we have Amantes. For those who are curious, Amantes is a different event. Amantes is a monthly I was gonna say invitational. I mean, I guess so. It is a monthly tournament where players are invited in based on their performances and seeding throughout other Brazilian events through point accumulation. So I say that I believe actually I believe it might be open as well, but regardless, it's a monthly tournament, and we actually missed out on this event. I want to say last week. It's been a little bit of time here since we've been able to. It was, I want to say, last weekend. This is typically a 2-day event. We were otherwise busy covering HSL. We were covering and casting the HSL, the Hispanic StarCraft League, so we were not able to cover Amantes live, which is why we're here, bringing this to you here and now via replay cast. So we have a replay cast instead. Again, usually this is taking place over the weekend. We rarely ever get to cast Amantes live, usually just via replays a couple of days or a week later. So here we are still with some Brazilian StarCraft. So no Code for Giants Cup, but Amantes instead. So we got you, Papi, we got you. So again, just for transparency's sake, of course, this is a replay broadcast from matches that happened during the weekend of the HSL. But we are here, we are back, and we are getting ready to jump into our first series of the broadcast. Here we go. So from top to bottom here, or first things first, we're going to be jumping into the upper bracket semifinals. We're going to be featuring a PvP between MasTeR and AlisoN. Let's go. Let us go. Just catching up with the chat. Welcome, bienvenidos todos as well. I see Sirius Black, our first quacker. I see Peon as well. Did redeem some replays, and if you do wish us to, I don't know if you actually have replays for us to cover. If you do, then there are a couple of different ways to get the replays to me. You can do so via Discord. If you join our Discord server, you can message me, you can DM me on Discord, you can message me the replays, and we will cover them. Likewise, you can also email them to us, cranklings@gmail.com. So we have an email, so you can also email your replays to us there if you wish, whichever way you do prefer. So yeah, get in contact so we can cover your replays, papi. Ay. Likewise, welcome Yedmi, Sinom Chomsky, Kanoya as well. ¿Qué tal? ¿Cómo estás? Kanoya, good to see you. Pecoeta, Getcha as well. Late Chrononaut, and Dina as well. Welcome. As we're jumping into our first PvP, let's go. Jumping into game number 1. Game 1 is going to be on Amygdala. Dinagano, even Dinagano. But here we go. Oh yes, all the Brazilian StarCraft. And again, the Brazilian scene has been getting much more intense as of late because of the big offline event that's happening. And this is another good way to get a feel on what the state of play is for a lot of these players coming into that offline tournament, coming into the Brazilian StarCraft 2 circuit. And this morning, in the bottom left-hand corner of Amygdala, we have the Brazilian Protoss player, the Red Protoss, representing Team The Bad. It is AlisoN. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Brazilian Protoss player, the Blue Protoss, representing Team Hellfire. It is MasTeR. Here we go. MasTeR, of course, he is the best Protoss. I'll go with Cannon Rushing. Gonna say MasTeR, he is the best Protoss player in all of Brazil, arguably the best Protoss player in all of Latino America. So MasTeR, he is one of the best here when it comes to Protoss in the region, in the scene. But AlisoN is a very cheesy, very cheeky player. He's coming in with the attempted cannon rush, and we have seen AlisoN cheese MasTeR out before. It's happened before, it can happen again, but ooh, MasTeR, he does actually fully wall off with his own forge. He scouts across the map, he does confirm the forge of his opponent, and so far MasTeR, he locks AlisoN out of the main. So far, a very strong response. Also, how do you combat a cannon rush with your own defensive cannons in PvP? So out there it is, there's the spray. AlisoN with the spray. Forge is already thrown down from MasTeR. We needed some cannons to protect the main. Then we can get into a longer game state. Likewise, gas deal across the map to make sure that, alas, if AlisoN did want to proxy Stargate or proxy Robo, it is going to be delayed as well. Yeah, it is going to be delayed, as boys are being pulled to focus on the gas geyser. Likewise, gateway into forge into cybercore. MasTeR securing himself, and there is a cannon on the low ground, but yeah, it's gonna be denied. It's gonna be denied. Zealous spawns on the other side, and just like that, MasTeR, he shuts down the cannon rush. Again, just a really quick and really strong response. I would also say that MasTeR was most likely very fast to react to this, just because AlisoN has a reputation. I mentioned this before in the lead up to this, and MasTeR knows this as well, everyone does, at least in the Brazilian scene, is how cheesy AlisoN is as a player. We expect nothing but cheese, nothing but aggression, nothing but all-ins in all of his matches. Macro is a rare sight from AlisoN. Not something that we've never seen, but a rare sight nonetheless. Meanwhile, the pylon has been placed, so MasTeR will delay the attempted expansion here of AlisoN. As again, AlisoN from here is going to have to transition. I'm going to try to macro out of this. So far, a strong setup here from MasTeR. I mean, yes, both players are on one base, but the problem here is that MasTeR, he does have the better position so far, getting into warp gates, getting to his own extra gateways. We have our technical choice from AlisoN. AlisoN going for a Twilight Council, going for an extra gateway, and MasTeR, he will see everything. He confirms a Twilight Council. Now, this could be the beginning of DTs. This could be the beginning of a Dark Shrine, for all MasTeR knows. Meanwhile, he does cyber block the low ground. MasTeR can now expand, and MasTeR good response, Robo. Now, Robo does allow you to go into Immortals and also allows you to get detection. Again, for all MasTeR knows, this could be a 1-base 4-gate blink all in, or it could be 1-base into DTs. It could be either one, and the Robo is a good response to both. Immortals for Blink Stalkers and Observer for DTs. So again, a strong response here by MasTeR. Again, the Cybercore did complete, so MasTeR's is heavily delaying any kind of would-be expansion, and he's forcing AlisoN's hand. Now, AlisoN has got 3 gates back at home for, 3-gate Blink Stalker so far. I would imagine that AlisoN is going to go for a proxy 4th gate for a 4-gate 1-base Blink all in. I would imagine. Back at home, MasTeR, he can afford to stay on a lower gateway count. MasTeR can expand. Stalkers, they do poke out. Zold as well, and he's here to focus on the pylon, and once again to contain AlisoN for as long as possible. Yeah, AlisoN just locked in. He's locked in. Pylon goes down. More reinforcements have arrived. AlisoN can't do much here. Ooh, taking a lot of hits, and MasTeR just busting in. And GG. GG gets called. AlisoN had nothing to defend, had no extra stalkers, no extra reinforcements, and MasTeR takes game number 1. Whew. GG. GG, well played. A strong start here from MasTeR. Again, MasTeR, he was able to very quickly identify the attempted cannon rush and very quickly shut it down. I feel like that was just a really good example if you're out there, if you're Protoss, if you have to maybe even struggle against that sort of thing. I mean, it's a little bit disingenuous just because MasTeR is familiar with AlisoN, so there was a high chance that there would be a cannon rush. It's like mentally and physically, he was already prepared to react and to respond with something like a forge and something like a full wall. But again, just a really good reaction there from MasTeR. Did shut AlisoN down, and we'll see if AlisoN can bounce back coming into game number 2. Let's go. Let us go. As spawning in the top left-hand corner of King's Cove, we have our red Protoss player from Brazil, representing Team The Bad. Down in the series, we'll see if he can recover. We'll see if we attempt another cannon rush or another form of cheese. It is AlisoN. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the blue Protoss player, the Brazilian Protoss representing Team Hellfire. It is MasTeR. And he's the heavy hitter. He is one of the favorites to take it all. Again, when it comes to a lot of these Brazilian tournaments, we typically look at the trio, the trifecta, kind of again, by the way. We look at players like MasTeR, INexorable, and AreZ. AreZ being the strongest Zurich player in all of Brazil. We have MasTeR as the Protoss, and then INexorable as the Terran. Those are the trio that usually trade back and forth. Every now and then you get players like AlisoN, or like Yan, or like Dorminoko, or Kamikaze, that can threaten these players. Shakti is another good one. Meanwhile, MasTeR, once again, yeah, full wall. Just a blind full wall. MasTeR, of course, he saw there was nothing here at the ramp. He goes further in. He confirms the forge. Once again, gas steal out of MasTeR. So the same response. The same response. The gas steals to make sure that AlisoN is going to have a harder time transitioning this into something like a Robo all-in or a Stargate all-in, limited gas. MasTeR fully walls off. A Zealot is on the way, once again, to focus on that cannon. MasTeR from here just probing, and the next step here for MasTeR should be to pylon block the natural. As he checks the gases. Okay, the gas is done. Boys being pulled to focus it down. Cannon does complete here for AlisoN. True, cannon is done. This was a much faster cannon from AlisoN, and he will contain. So Zealot is forced back. Cybercore is on the way. So unlike the previous game, this time we do see that AlisoN is more successfully containing MasTeR. And where do we go from here? Cybercore. In general, I do feel like AlisoN's response is a little cleaner this time. He is much faster to kill the gas geyser. We'll take it. MasTeR does confirm. West Stalkers are on the way. We have a second cannon being thrown down for AlisoN. Let's go. Getting a second cannon. Again, just containing and walling this area up. As well. And he's going to purchase Stargate. Again, this makes sense as to why he got the gas geyser as quickly as he did. Gonna be purchased Stargate. This should be either Void Ray or even Proxy Tempest. I'm leaning towards Void Rays for the time being. So AlisoN, he will continue to contain. MasTeR sneaks out with a probe. Does sneak out. Shield batteries on the way. And he is setting up his shield batteries. Likewise, AlisoN just setting up and securing that contain. We have 3 shield batteries, 2 cannons. MasTeR behind this working towards extra gateways. Not a Robo yet, or a Stargate. Void Ray production has begun. AlisoN massing up those Void Rays. And we'll see how MasTeR will approach this. For now, just try to break out. Going for the shield battery. And the shield battery is going to be targeted down. Oh my god. Yeah, just barely. Does take a lot of hits, so the shield battery does survive. Barely. Barely does survive. Void Ray is now out. MasTeR is in a bit of trouble here. He's in trouble. There are a lot of Stalkers, but remember, there's no blink. Like, there's no blink, there's no Twilight Council. It is awkward for these Stalkers to actually get under that Void Ray. This Void Ray should not actually go down. With Delicate Micro, the Void Ray can always pull back. We have a Robot on the way. Extra Void Ray, so it's going to be Void Ray Immortal. This is also why this can be so powerful as the aggressing player, because Void Rays, they don't have to worry about SimCity, right? They can freely move back and forth. Like, there's no terrain that can really hinder them. Oh! Stalkers, they move down to low ground. They focus on the first cannon. Going for the Void Ray. They get one volley, they get a second. First Void Ray goes down. Now they're going for the second as well, and looks like they should have enough DPS. Oh my god. Still, they're very intense. Leading out a lot of Stalkers. One more volley. Oh, can he get it? Not quite. Does spend the shields though, does spend the energy. There we go, Void Ray goes down, cannon as well. GG MasTeR, he does successfully break out. Whew, before the Robo finished, before there was too many Void Rays, and MasTeR, he will take the series 2-0. GG. GG, well played, MasTeR. He was able to break out. It was a bit of an awkward breakout there, but I do appreciate how he was able to catch the first Void Ray. Even spending some shots on the cannon was helping, because every shot that was going off, whether it was on Void Rays or on cannons, was spending energy on the shield batteries. And the shield batteries, towards the end, they were out of energy. Like, they had spent all that they had trying to preserve the cannons and the Void Rays. Eventually, they could no longer support. They were tapped out, and MasTeR, he was able to break that contain before the robot, before immortal production, before things got too out of hand. So MasTeR, he was on a timer, does break out. GG. GG, well played. Again, very clean responses here from MasTeR in both Game 1 and Game 2 against the attempted cannon rushes, against the attempted cheese or aggression, all-ins, proxies. And MasTeR, he will advance on into the next round. GG. GG, well played. MasTeR does advance on, and we here to determine who will face off against MasTeR in the upper bracket finals. Up next, we do have our next matchup. It's going to be a TVT between INexorable and Firebat. Let's go. Let us go. INexorable, of course, being the strongest Terran player in Brazil, outside of Diego, outside of Kellezer, of course. You know, his opponent is not too shabby either. So we are getting into our Terran versus Terran, and spawning in the top right-hand corner of Leylines, we have the blue Terran player from the land of Brazil, representing Alien Esports. It is INexorable. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the other Brazilian Terran player, the red Terran representing Team Hellfire. It is Firebat. Let's go. Go, shout out Light SKR in the chat. Gah, baby, gah. Good to see you. Good to see you. Our call from yesterday, watching our ladder session. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing well. And welcome to Amantes of StarCraft. For those that are just now tuning in, this is a monthly Brazilian tournament for the Brazilian StarCraft 2 scene, and we are currently in the upper bracket semifinals. Oh boy. Go. So far, double gas opener, double gas here out of INexorable. So INexorable is going for a faster factory, going for a more tech-heavy composition or tech-heavy start. Meanwhile, Firebat's going for a single gas into something more economic instead. So already, we do have a divergence here in our two Terrans. Firebat going for the faster command center, and INexorable going for the faster factory. So here we go. With this, INexorable is going to be the aggressor. Firebat is going to be the defender. So we do have a different dynamic facing off. Firebat moving up with the SCV Scouts. Now, SCV Scouts are a rarity in TVT. You often rely on your follow-up Reaper and Hellion aggression. This will allow Firebat to be a little bit more secure knowing what's going on. He will confirm the double gas. So he knows. He now knows that he has to be more defensive back at home, but he was already going to be just because of his opener. As INexorable, he does SCV Scout, but only checking for proxies. So he checks the third base location, just to confirm. I'll check the third. Likewise, that factory is on the way. CC on the low ground for Firebats, and INexorable, he will be able to confirm that as well. Upon seeing the command center timing, he'll know that he is safe to be aggressive himself, assuming he moves out. For now, staying in the center. Does fan out towards the natural. The SCV is also dual purpose. It's here to help scouts, but also here to tank a Reaper shot. So it is the shield here for the Reaper of INexorable. Does move in. Does confirm the Marine. Does confirm the CC on the low ground. He's going for the Marine, and he will get it. Nice pickoff. Trades an SCV for a Marine. He also confirms the faster expansion, which means INexorable now knows he is going to have the advantage when it comes to his Reaper and Hellion timing. Specifically the Hellion. So INexorable, he knows he can be more aggressive. He's going to be rallying across the map. Behind this, we have Firebat just now working on his own factory. INexorable already moving in. He will not be able to delay the CC, just barely not in time. But he will get an SCV kill. Nice pickup. Takes down a worker, rotates around once again. Toss dive in. Again, he can out DPS out one Reaper, heads into the mineral line. SCVs are under fire. Firebat, he has to pull away. So far, does save some of his workers, but it's going to be another SCV kill. He wants the Reaper. Oh, sorry, he wants the SCV. Never mind. 3 SCV kills already. Pulls back to the low ground. A Hellion is in position. Another SCV going to be going down. 5 SCV kills. Ay, ay, ay. A brutal start. Firebat, he will clean this up, but the damage has been done, and INexorable, despite the fact that INexorable, he went for a later command center, he has an economic advantage. Likewise, he gets away with the Hellion. So our blue Terran player is in a better position. He is down when it comes to muling, true. I mean, there's one extra mule here for Firebat, but that doesn't overcome, that doesn't make up for the 5 SCV deficit. So here, INexorable going for his 1-1-1. Going for his Cyclone, getting ready for some drop play. Medevac is on the way as well. And Firebat, he, for the most part, is stuck at home. Just now starting his own tank production. He fans out with his Hellions, but his Hellions, they won't be able to achieve much, not against Cyclones. Okay, there's a world. So as INexorable moves out, he's vulnerable, right? He has that much less at home to defend. So Firebat, he can just dive into the mineral line. INexorable is out of position. Firebat's moving in. There's one Cyclone to defend. He's going for the Cyclone, going for the dive. The tank arrives just in time. Mass repair on the Cyclone. And INexorable, he holds. He holds, he shuts this down. He doesn't lose any SCVs. He saves the Cyclone. And now it's time to counterattack. There was definitely an opportunity there for Firebat if he had gone straight for the mineral line instead, straight for SCV kills. But he tried to focus on the Cyclone, and as a result, he gets no damage. And INexorable, he's just all over Firebat. Getting another 3 SCVs, denying any kind of mining in the main, came with the production. And Firebat, he just cannot keep up. He will siege up his tank, protecting the ramp. Does zone INexorable further into the main. And here comes the rest of the army. INexorable, he just rallies across the map. He's going for the kill. And again, the entire game here, INexorable, he's just been in the driver's seat, just dictating the pace of the game. Just getting early game damage, early SCV kills, early snipes, and it leads into this. Leads into his move out. Bunker Fools as one tank to defend. Oh, nice tank bullies. Tank is holding. Tank is holding on, drop back into the main base. And Firebat, he will break this tank. He will break out. But once again, at a cost. He's barely holding on, he's barely treading water. Another 10 SCV kills. Ay, ay, ay. INexorable, calm down, Bobby, calm down. 10 SCVs, 2 more Marines. Now gets out. And back at home, INexorable, he is cruising here. He's able to get his 3rd TC now on location. Stim is on the way. Double eBays, double upgrades. Continuing his tank production. INexorable looking very comfortable here. After all that early game damage, there were definitely opportunities for Firebat, and there's going to be no final fight. The writing is on the wall. GG gets called, and INexorable, he will take game number 1. Whew. GG. Very impressive play there by INexorable. And again, Firebat, he had some moments, some opportunities when it came to his Hellion counterattack, for example, to get some kind of counter damage, but it was just a really, really rough position there for Firebat when it came to trying to keep up with the movement of INexorable. Again, INexorable, early on, he was able to gain momentum, he was able to get some SCV kills, he was able to snipe the first Marine, and more importantly, because of the early scout from INexorable, he confirmed that he had the advantage. Like, he confirmed that he had momentum, that he could be aggressive and try to pull apart his opponents. And things got out of hand real fast and real quick. GG. GG, well played. With that, INexorable takes the lead, and now we are getting into game number 2. We'll see if Firebat can bounce back, or if INexorable will close it out. Let's go. Let us go. As we are jumping into game number 2, game 2 is going to be on Amygdala. As spawning in the top right-hand corner of Amygdala, we have the Brazilian Terran player, the blue Terran representing Alien Esports. It is INexorable. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent, we have the other Brazilian Terran player, the red Terran representing Team Hellfire. It is Firebat. Here we go. Of course, both these players were competing in the Brazilian SE2 circuit over the weekend. I say both. Firebat was. INexorable, he was, of course, or he is seeded further into the next stage. As INexorable, he is one of the favorites in the Brazilian scene. And we'll see if Firebat can more comfortably get into this game. Now, welcome one and all to Amygdala. Amygdala is one of the larger maps in the map pool. Very large map, long rush distance by ground, limited attack paths. It is easier on this map to be the defender, to defend, to be greedy, to be more economic. Despite that, once again, INexorable opening up double gas. So once again, double gas opening here. Once again, faster factory. Last game, this led into Reaper Hellion aggression early on, into a Cyclone drop. That was the overall build that INexorable had gone for into his 1-1-1. We'll see what he goes for this time. He has options. He can go Reactored Hellion instead. He can go early tank drop instead of Cyclones. He has options with how he wants to be aggressive here. Meanwhile, once again, Firebat, single gas, which means a faster command center. I do like this opener from Firebat, specifically on this map. It is easier to be defensive, it's larger, it's harder to be the aggressor, so there's a higher chance for him to get away with a more greedy build. Not saying he will, but there's just a higher chance. The map is going to be helping Firebat coming into game 2. Meanwhile, INexorable, once again, he does scout the third location, he's checking for proxies. Checks the third, checks the low ground before moving out. Firebat, once again with the SCV scout, he confirms double gas, so he knows that he will have the disadvantage when it comes to the army. And once again, Firebat has to be the defender, and INexorable is the aggressor. Here comes the Reaper, here comes that SCV. Once again, the role of this SCV is just a tank, just a circ shots. Firebat's going for the CC on the high ground. Okay, very safe setup. High ground CC, INexorable, he does confirm. And he still might delay the command center. SCV's under fire. SCV goes down, does delay. But this time, Firebat, he doesn't lose the first Marine. Doesn't lose it. His CC is delayed by a couple of seconds. But this time, I would say a cleaner response here from Firebat. As he's getting into his own factory. Likewise, there's YanXII swap. Now, last game we had Cyclone. Yep, once again, Cyclone production out of INexorable. Into a starport, into potentially another drop play. So far, this looks like the same build out of INexorable 2 games in a row. Likewise, also looks like the same build out of Firebat, going Reactored Hellion. Oh, meanwhile, Hellion's on low ground to support. Marine is going to go down. Nice pickup. Marine goes down, Reaper has to pull back. The boys have to be pulled. He has to pull the boys. As he doesn't, the Reaper is under fire. Okay, Hellion comes in, Reaper does fall. It was a late reaction. It was late to pull the boys, but Firebat, he does hold. Does hold on, does defend, does survive. He's trying to secure himself, this time going for a Viking. Interesting. Now with this Viking, he will have a way to shut down the initial medevac, true, to deny the drop. Speaking of, medevac is on the way, and here comes that Cyclone drop, also on the horizon. So again, it is the same build from both players 2 games in a row. Oh, Firebat is getting called out though, the Cyclone will catch a Hellion. Takes on one of the Hellions, and again, you can just see how much power an early game Cyclone has. Just bullying those Hellions. Hellions, they cannot touch the Cyclone. 2 SCVs go down, and Firebat, he's in trouble. Is in trouble here. He's going into Marauder production. Interesting. Interesting setup. Okay, he cancels. Cancels the Marauder. Going to a second ranks, working towards stim. Really early stim timing here from Firebat. Interesting. Often what you would see here is not early stim. You'd see a tech lab on the factory into early tank production. Or Cyclones of his own. Reapers, they get into the main. At the same time, these Hellions, they're getting caught out. And Marauder gets picked up. Sorry, it wasn't cancelled, it was built. The Marauder goes down instantly. And this is disastrous here already. INexorable has controlled the low ground. Hellions, they can't quite engage, not on their own. Does force a lift. Cyclones pick up another 2 Hellions before pulling away. And back at home, INexorable, he's just freely saturating on 2 bases. Again, because of all this damage, because of all these delays, INexorable, he's already up over 10 workers. And he's getting his 3rd base on location. Just a very strong start once again for INexorable. Again, Firebat just having a very hard time being the defender. This is the downside of going for Reactored Hellion. Reactored Hellion, this is great for harassing and for counterattacking, not so much for defending. Like you saw just how they tickle the Cyclones, how they tickle the initial units. Likewise, delayed tank production because of the faster stim. I'll be honest, I'm not too fond of this. This is like a kind of a weird stim timing here for Firebat. Stim is going to finish really early on, that's true, but what are we accomplishing with that? Look at the units tab here. There are 2 Marauders. There like that's all the bio. There's only 2 Marauders. Bio production is delayed. So on the one hand, sure, we have early stim, but because it isn't really doing anything, this is where earlier tank production, or I would say earlier tank, or even earlier cycle production would have been more beneficial here. There was no need to rush into this upgrade as quickly. Likewise, double medevac production is here, and okay, I do appreciate this at least. We're going for a Hellion drop. So Hellion drop is moving out. There is potential for some damage. Again, this needs to get some SCV kills. As Firebat is behind. Scan into the main, reveals the production setup. No mech. Firebat moving in. INexorable, he will evacuate his third. He respects this. Does evacuate. Instead, we can see here INexorable just securing himself on 2 bases. Hellion drop into the main. Cyclones are keeping up. And Hellions, they will get a volley from the mineral line. Gets 2 SCVs. He gets 2. He gets 4. Does force a bit of friendly fire. A lot of the workers get low, but only 4 SCVs. This is damage, don't get me wrong, but ideally we did want a little bit more. As again, basically after the scan, he did recognize just how much production there was, anticipating a 2-base all-in. So INexorable playing it safe. Getting to his own tank production. Again, later stim here for INexorable, but this time, with its timing, I mean, he actually has a bio army to make use of. I believe Interference Matrix is now done. So he can disable with those Ravens. And Firebat, he's committed. At this point, he's 2-base all-in. He's 2-base all-in. He's moving out with everything he has. Looking at the units tab here, Firebat, he has 3 tanks to the 4 of his opponents. He's got the Viking advantage, true. He has a couple of Marauders, which can tank some shots. And INexorable is out of position. Right now his army is here at the natural. Firebat, he could try to sneak up on the 3rd. There's more reinforcements on the way. Firebat moving in. The depot will buy time. INexorable, he responds. He does react. He does respond. Tanks not quite in position. Firebat getting behind the mineral line. And the 3rd base is evacuated. Firebat, though, he can't chase. He cannot chase. Has to pull back. Has to calm down. Calm down, Bobby, calm down. At the same time, INexorable getting into the main base here of his opponent. Triple drop into the main. Oh, and there's nothing at home. There's nothing back at home. Firebat going for the Doom drop. Tanks are in position. They're in the main. Oh, God. they're in the main. Auto shots get thrown down, and with that, INexorable, he will shut down the Doom drop. The tanks fall. The bio as well. And INexorable, he will clean this up. At the same time, 19 SCVs. The main base goes down. GG gets called. And INexorable will take the series 2-0. GG. Whew. Hi, back. GG, well played. INexorable, again, both game 1 and game 2, just a really aggressive style. Just a really aggressive style here out of INexorable with the initial Reaper aggression, with the Cyclone follow-up as well. We saw the same build from both players 2 games in a row, and Firebat did have a bit of a harder time specifically keeping up with the build of his opponent. Again, Firebat, he was continuing to open up reactored Hellion, which again didn't really help out too much. He got early stim, late tank production. Overall, his own build was kind of hurting him when it comes to his defensive play, and he was torn apart. GG, well played. A very impressive performance there by INexorable. But again, INexorable, he is one of the more favored players in the Brazilian scene, and I mean, again, is kind of the Terran in Brazil right now. I say the Terran in Brazil because yes, there is Kelleser, there is Diego, of course, but he's not in Brazil. He's in Europe. So he's not often playing in these Brazilian tournaments. Instead, that's where INexorable steps up. Where he does step up. GG, well played. With that, we have our upper bracket finals already getting ready for us here. Here we go. Just setting up. It is going to be a best of 5 upper bracket finals here. MasTeR just took down AlisoN, and INexorable just took down Firebat as well. And again, these are the 2 that we often see facing off against each other. If you remember, it was in the previous Code for Giants Cup where INexorable actually got knocked out early by AlisoN. AlisoN knocked out INexorable from the previous Code for Giants Cup. It was a crazy upset, a crazy result, but not this time. This time INexorable, he avoids AlisoN, and now he's up against MasTeR. And I'm looking forward to this back and forth. I'm hoping that we have a back and forth here. I mean, again, these are the best Protoss and Terrans that the Brazilian scene has to offer, and they're about to face off. They are about to face off. For those that are looking for Eric, I don't blame you. You know, he's our boy. He's our boy. But Eric, he did not play in this tournament. He did not play in Amantes this month, unfortunately. So, again, we're going to be featuring Eric, you know, later on in the Brazilian StarCraft 2 circuit or in the future Code for Giants Cup, not in today's broadcast. Not in today's broadcast. But a shout out to Hero to Zero in the chat. Papi, thank you so much. Thank you so much for the Twitch Prime for 4 months. For 4 months in a row. Thank you. Thank you so much for the support. We do appreciate it. Hope you enjoy the content. Hope you enjoy the StarCraft. Hope you enjoy the casting. Thank you. Thank you so much for the support. As we are jumping into our TVP. Game 1, ley lines. Let's go. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of ley lines, we have our Brazilian Protoss player, the Blue Protoss, representing Team Hellfire. It is MasTeR. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the Brazilian Terran player, the Red Terran, representing Alien Esports. It is INexorable. Go. So we are setting up. We are settling in. So far, so good. And again, MasTeR and INexorable, they do often trade back and forth. I would say that MasTeR is slightly favored here over INexorable, but we have seen INexorable bring MasTeR down in the past and also take maps, take series. A lot of this comes down to the form of our players. What do I mean by that? If you've been tuning into recent Code for Giants Cups, I did mention that INexorable has been inactive for the past 2 months, for the month of March mainly, and even a little bit of February as well. INexorable, he wasn't playing in tournaments. He wasn't being as active, at least not in the Brazilian tournaments, and I was a little bit concerned. I was concerned as to where INexorable was and what was going on. We did ask him, I want to say like 2 weeks ago at this point, and he did explain that he was busy with his exams. Like, he was basically doing exams for his university, so he was basically just like focusing on his studies, focusing on cramming. And because of that, that's why INexorable was missing from tournaments for around a month of time. But now he's back. Now, you know, the exams are over and he is back in full swing and full force. But because he was gone for some time, you know, is he back at 100%? We're here to find out. We're here to find out here. As INexorable does step back into the ring, going for an economic opener, racks into CC on the low ground, single gas opener here by INexorable. Meanwhile, MasTeR back across the map going for a standard opener himself. Gate, Cyber, Expand. So nothing crazy early on. You can see that INexorable is scouting for proxies. Does scout, does check as to what's going on. Likewise poking in. Nothing major yet here. Just making sure that everything's on the up and up, that there's no proxy, there's no crazy setup. Speaking of tech of choice, we do have it now. Twilight Council for MasTeR, not Stargate or Robo. It's going to be on INexorable to confirm. He does try to rush past, and he does get behind the mineral line. He barely will confirm the Twilight Council. Whew, okay, so far so good. The Reaper has done its job. Alas, INexorable, he's aware of the blink-based opener. Back at home, 1-1-1. Going for our 1-1-1 setup. To have a Hellion follow-up. The Hellion should just be for scouting information. Building up his bio, getting into tank production. Again, it's going to be crucial here that INexorable gets into his tanks in time for the Blink Stalker aggression. There it is. Tech Lab is on the way. Tank production is on the horizon. So he's working towards his tanks. Question becomes, how many gateways? We have 2 more gates on the way so far. That's going to be a 3-gate blink setup here from MasTeR. It's a lot of gateways. It is a very flexible way to open up. as 3 gates allow you to be very defensive and also turn that defense into an offense. What we are looking for is whether or not MasTeR throws that, or whether he starts a Warp Prism. If he goes for a Prism, he can commit. Ooh, Adepts a shade into the main, they get a full scout. We don't get the tank production here. No tech lab on the factory. Uh-oh. Adepts, they will get a couple of SCV kills. That's 2 SCVs going down. And we're opening up instead with Ravens and with Interference Matrix. Interesting. This is a very old school way of playing. Very old school. This used to be the meta back in the day when Robo Openers were more common. Back in the day when we had Robo Openers, we would often see rushes into Colossus, and that's where Ravens could shut them down. Right, a couple of Interference Matrix can shut down 2 Colossus real fast and real hard, and then you can just snowball into a win and pull off these 2 base all-ins. That was very meta 2 years ago. Here, rushing into Interference Matrix makes a little bit less sense, just because there's less utility for the Raven right now. Especially against Mass Blink Stalker. Like, you're not going to disable the Stalkers individually. I guess you can disable the Prism, but even then, as MasTeR does move out. He moves out. We'll see if MasTeR can find an opening. Now again, he knows that the tank count is going to be a little bit lower here for INexorable. It's going to be 1 tank so far. So 1 tank in the main, bunker at the natural. MasTeR rocks up. He does expand, does take a 3rd base behind this. Elliot back at home is going to be deflected. Nice movement out of MasTeR. Oh my, the body blocking. Oh my god. MasTeR, calm down. Here we go. Here comes the warp in. The 2nd tank is still in production. Again, the 2nd tank is late. It's delayed, and the bunker is going to be targeted down. Boys are being pulled to repair, but it's too late. Yeah, it's too little too late. Bunker falls. Marines, they try to respond. And again, like, this Raven just isn't really helping here. Marines are going down one after the other. The tank does siege. And MasTeR, what does he lose? Nothing. He lost 2 Adepts from earlier. He was able to snipe 5 Marines, the bunker, 3 SCVs. Now we have a 2nd tank, so now we have a 2-tank setup. But MasTeR is not done. Rotating into the main. The Raven can throw down an auto turret. True. Oh. Tank volley goes off. Gets 1 Stalker. 1 Stalker goes down. INexorable so far he's holding, he's defending. Oh, blinks in. The tank doesn't cover everything. And Stalkers are getting behind the mineral line. They cover the gases, getting more CV kills. Raven trying to keep up. There's a disable, but I'm not too sure if it matters too much. Yeah, disables the Prism. Boys are being pulled. Marauders are targeted down, and the disable's about to run out anyway. Yeah, disabled. Oh, got up! Prism goes down. And we're going to be seeing a trade instead. I mean, he will clean up all these Stalkers. Not a bad trade. Not bad. Stalkers are quite expensive. So INexorable, he does hold on. Catching out 11 Stalkers for 20 Marine 20 Marine kills. That's crazy. 20 Marines go down. And remember, behind this, MasTeR is on 3 bases. He's on 3 bases. He's already enjoying a greater economy. He's switching into +1 in charge as a follow-up. He's done with the Blink Stalkers. Right now, the purpose, the goal of these Stalkers are to slow down the push. To slow down the push, and more importantly, to scout and move out. Scan reveals the Robo. Scan reveals the Bay that's on the way. And INexorable, he has to make a choice. Does he 2-base all in? Does he pull the boys? So far, he has a 5-rack setup. He may just, to be honest, he may just pull the boys. For now, he does zone MasTeR away. INexorable moving out. Taking 6 Marines at a time. Does have the high ground. Trying to catch out the Stalkers. I'm loving the movement here. Ideally, he wants to try to force the Stalkers to blink towards the south side. There it is. There's a blink. Stims in. Dust him in. Gets 1. Gets 1. Gets 2. Barely gets a 3rd as well. Very nice trap here from INexorable. And we pull the boys. The 2-base all-in is upon us. Stalkers, remember, they're zoned away, so MasTeR, he doesn't see this. He doesn't see this. He doesn't see the all-in. He only saw the army. It's all or nothing for INexorable. There's no macroing out of this. Not anymore. But there's still a lot of charge lots. +1 finishing up in 10 seconds. There is an anti-missile. The missile can go up, and it will. Yeah, massive connection, covers the army. Brings a stim in, tanks are sieging. Zelce Mel, but Zelce coming from behind. Yeah, Zelce catch reinforcements, they're getting on top of the tanks. But it looks like INexorable, he barely has enough. He takes down both Immortals, massive pickoffs. Immortals go down, shield batteries is not ready. Remember, MasTeR, he didn't see the all-in, he didn't know what was coming. Didn't know how much there was, but there is now one Colossus. One Colossus does arrive. Third base is going to go down. Did cost us 24 SCVs, but GG gets called. MasTeR, he is broken. And INexorable, he takes game number 1. Whew. GG. GG. Intense game, Pappy. Very intense. It was a very shaky start. A very shaky start for INexorable, as he was being torn apart, to be honest. Like, again, the initial opener did feel a little bit lackluster. He was losing bunkers, losing SCVs, losing Marines. The correct choice there, or one of the only options for INexorable, was to go for the all-in. Was to go for the SCV pool. But what's important isn't that he did go for the all-in, it was the execution of the all-in. It was so important that, remember, he didn't pull the boys until he had already zoned away the Stalkers, even caught the Stalkers in the center of the map as well, until he made sure that MasTeR would not see it. Made sure he wouldn't see it coming, so because of that, the reactive shield batteries were very late. They were very late, they were very delayed from MasTeR, so they were a non-factor, and even the Raven had its own moment towards the end as well, with the anti-armor missile. So GG. GG, well played. Whew. INexorable, he does pull it off. And does take a lead as we get into game number 2. Here we go. The power of the kangaroo. Este pecoeta. Ay, ay, ay. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Ultra Love, we have our Brazilian Protoss player, the Blue Protoss, representing Team Hellfire down in the series. We'll see if he can bounce back and make a series out of this. It is MasTeR. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the Brazilian Terran player, the Red Terran, representing Alien Esports. Leading the series 1-0, it is INexorable. We go. And INexorable, he does have that 1-0 lead. Was able to catch MasTeR off guard with his pants down with that all-in. And we'll see where our players take us this time. As we do load into a much smaller map. True, this is a smaller map. Welcome to Ultra Love. It is a smaller map in a sense and does have a shorter rush distance, but what I will say is that it is more defendable at the natural, right? There's a ramp coming into the natural. Likewise, you can knock down the tower to protect the third base as well. So there are certain features of the map that can help you survive the early game aggression and survive all-ins. Meanwhile, double gas. Okay, we do mix it up. I appreciate this out of INexorable. Remember, last game, what was the opener? Rax Expand. It was a Rax Expand opener with a scatting Reaper, scatting Hellion into 1-1-1, into Raven. Here, double gas means faster factory, and this can lead into early game Reactored Reaper Hellion. This can lead into a Cyclone drop, Tank drop. This can lead into a 1-1-1 Cloak Banshee. There are a lot of aggressive options here for INexorable. And MasTeR, he scouts. He scouts, he sees both gases, he's aware. He is aware of what's going on. And we'll see him set up for that. MasTeR does pull away. Does pull away. From the side of MasTeR, upon seeing this kind of opener, we should be seeing one of two things. Either a Robo opener, which would be hyper safe, or another Twilight Council into 3-gate blink, which likewise also a very safe way to play. Reaper dips in. Doesn't see much, as we have yet to commit our tech. Speaking of, there it is, Twilight Council for MasTeR, and the Reaper will confirm. So Twilight Council is spotted. It is going to be another blink-based opener. Last game, MasTeR, he was quite successful with his blink stalkers until he overextended and he lost 11 stalkers in the main. True, I mean, that was another reason as to why the all-in did so well. Was MasTeR, he lost everything in the main base. Or almost everything. As the Reaper goes down. And we have our initial 1-1-1. Again, as a reminder, INexorable, he delayed his command center in favor of the faster factory and faster starport, and we can see that this is leading into a mine drop. Now, I say mine drop, it looks like this is going to be a marine mine drop instead. This is going to be a little bit more dedicated here from INexorable. Adepts, they threaten a shade, but they will confirm the command center timing at least, so he knows it's not a one base all in. Behind this, oh Jesus, he does set up a full wall. This is designed to defend against something like a Hellion aggression. So if we had a reactor to Hellion, then this would survive and defend against that. INexorable getting across the map. I believe this goes unscattered so far. Nothing in the main. Nothing in the main base yet. MasTeR can warp in 2 units at a time. So far he has 2 Stalkers at the natural. Drop into the main. Now, ideally, you don't want to spend the Widowmine shot off on the probes. That's what the Marines are for. Speaking of, Widowmine does borrow. Ideally wants to zone away those Stalkers. Oh! And we do get the unborrow, but the Widowmine is going to be targeted down. It does fall. Widowmine goes down. So far, 5 probe kills. At the same time, Adepts are wreaking havoc across the map. More SCV is going to be going down. Yeah, 5 SCV kills across the map. 7 probes here as well. The Adepts still wreaking havoc. And again, that should not have happened. Again, this is quite dedicated. The medevac is going to go down. Massive pick off. And MasTeR is defending. He's shutting this down. We'll lose 1 more probe. Barely another. Liberator popping off as well. At least trying to. And on the one hand, this is okay damage. This would be amazing if this was all that happened. 9 probe kills, right? 9 workers went down. That's good. The problem is that INexorable, he lost 5 SCVs. He lost 5 SCVs at the same time, so alas, he doesn't have the lead that he otherwise would have wanted. INexorable, he's down in workers. Now he's moving out. Again, there's a lot of pressure on INexorable. He has to do more damage. Can he get on top of the Robo? He can. Stalkers, they blink in. They focus on Liberator. Liberator does fall. Last does focus down the other gateway. And picks us on the gates. Stalkers, they dive in. Tank is going to be targeted down. He does snipe the Prism, but MasTeR will defend. MasTeR, he will clean this up. Cleaning up the Marines, the Vikings, the everything, even a couple of SCVs. And again, these are rough losses here for INexorable. Oh. That was his entire army. Behind this, he does have 2 more tanks. Got his bunker on the way. It's going to be an INexorable here to just turtle up. To defend, to survive. Yo, the Vikings waddling it. Let's go. Let's go. Viking waddles in. It gets 3 probes. Not bad. 3 workers go down. Not bad at all. Likewise, the Viking harass continues, dropping into the natural, focusing down more workers, getting another 2, getting another 3. 3 more probe kills. Likewise, the INexorable, he does defend back at home. The tank is in a beautiful position. He does punish the Stalkers. And INexorable, he's bouncing back here. In total, he's killed 15 probes. 15 workers, the initial Prism, Stalkers as well. Does go for the dive. Does attempt to, but he gets punished for it. And once again, more Stalkers going down. Boys are being pulled though, and INexorable doesn't really have much to defend. And bleeding out more SCVs. Tank doing what he can. But MasTeR, he may just be able to overwhelm. Warps in the Zealots, takes down the Marauders. Boys being pulled, tank gets surrounded. And again, it's not really much of an army, but it's getting out of hand. Ay, ay, ay. And blinking on forward. Once again, GG gets called with a handful of units. It was like 3 Zealots, 1 Stalker, barely had enough. And MasTeR, he will break INexorable, tying up the series 1-1. Whew, GG. GG, well played. Again, a very messy game. Very messy, very intense, very back and forth. INexorable, towards the end, he finally got the damage he was looking for, but back at home, he barely didn't have enough. He barely didn't have enough support for his tanks. They were just barely going down as well. And again, it was only a handful of units. Only a handful of Zealots, a handful of Stalkers. MasTeR takes the game. MasTeR does barely break him, and that leads us into game number 3. Up next, going to be loading into Amygdala. Let's go. Let us go. As spawning in the top right-hand corner of Amygdala, we have the Brazilian Protoss. The Brazilian Protoss player himself, the blue Protoss for Team Hellfire. It is MasTeR. Tying up the series 1-1. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Brazilian Terran player, the red Terran representing Alien Esports. It is INexorable. Here we go. Ooh, as we are settling in, as we're calming down. Again, a big reason as to why the last game was so chaotic is that, if you recall, INexorable did open up double gas on Ultra Love. And that did kind of snowball into the early drop play, the Viking harass, the early tank push as well, just hyper-aggression out of the Terran. It barely wasn't enough to break MasTeR, and as a result, he did suffer trying to defend back at home. He did struggle in that defense. This time, once again, double gas. I was about to say that this is a good map to open up economically and be greedy, but never mind. Double gas for a second game in a row. Now, last time this led into, again, that early Marine Widowmine drop. It doesn't have to be the same build, though. INexorable, he has options. Does have options here. As MasTeR is moving out. Does move out, the scout is denied. So INexorable, he does fully wall off. Just zoning MasTeR away. With this INexorable going for his own 1-1 setup. Now, technically, this could be the beginning of a one-base all-in, but we should be seeing a command center after the factory. As MasTeR, he is scouting the edge of the map to make sure there is no proxy starport. Not uncommon. Just making sure he's safe and sound. Meanwhile, with the reactor on the ranks, this could be Reactor Reaper Hellion. We'll see. We'll see if we do invest into Reapers or into Marines. CC on the way on the high ground. As there is that starport. So again, an early starport out of INexorable. Meanwhile, we have our take of choice from MasTeR. He's going for, once again, Twilight Council. Every game so far in this series, we've gone for a Twilight Council opener. Without fail. Every game it's been 3-gate blink. Despite that, it's still on INexorable to confirm what's going on. And he will. Tips into the main, gets eyes on the Twilight Council. Is where it's going to be blink. He gets 1 probe, not bad. He gets 2. Oh my god. 2 workers go down. MasTeR as the depths are across the map. Now, INexorably should realize this. Should realize, hold up, where's your army? Where are your adepts? What's going on? As it is reactor Marine production, Widowmine, Medevac once again. Same build. Same opener here. 2 games in a row. Oh, as the Hellion is gonna barely not get caught out. These are the MVP adepts that last game killed 5 SCVs. They're back. They want more SCVs back. Yeah. They're back for more. Meanwhile, as we mentioned, here comes that medevac drop once again. Now, last game, this medevac drop killed 9 probes. It was 9 probes going down. And if you remember, we mentioned how it wasn't really worth it as much, just because at the same time, he lost 5 workers to these 2 adepts. Speaking of, they get 1 already. They got 1 probe so far, 1 SCV. 1 SCV goes down. Drop is moving in. Do have our initial gate set up here. So 2-gate blink. Drop into the natural this time. Probes are being targeted down. Widowmine will burrow. Ideally, Widowmine wants to connect it with the Stalker. Oh. Doesn't want to waste it. Yeah, doesn't want to be wasted on the probe. But it will be. Yeah, probe goes down. Does focus on the shield battery. And then INexorable gets the hell out of here. Does pull away. Oh, meanwhile, he just cannot land. He cannot land. He wants to expand, papi. Ay, ay, ay. As the tank has arrived. INexorable, he finally will expand here on the low ground. And what I will say, even though INexorable, he only gets 2 probes, he did get the shield battery and he did preserve the army. Like, this time the army is preserved. This time he's ready to go back in for another drop. Speaking of, he does spot the Stalkers. So we can see INexorable bring everything together. Meanwhile, the Observer does spot this. Remember, it was 3 Gate Blinks, so 3 Gate Blink Stalkers out of MasTeR into a 3rd base. So INexorable, he does move out. And again, this is the same build that we saw last time, except this time he preserved the army and everything's coming together. Last time the army was staggered, if you recall. The Vikings do land, army's moving in. The goal here is to get the tank within range of the production. To start to focus it down. Here we go, now we have a 2nd tank. The first one does siege. So does the 2nd. And so far it's all about protecting the tanks. Nice target firing, gets one of the Stalkers. Oh my god, another Stalker goes down. Yeah, 2 Stalkers fall. Gateways are getting picked off. The Artosis pylon also exposed. And charge is not done. The slow lots are coming in. The boys are being pulled into 2 tanks. Yeah, Viking lands in time. Stalkers, they go for the time. They do focus down one of the tanks. He gets 1. And he'll barely get both, but for a cost of almost every single Stalker. The tank lives! No shot. And INexorable, he's done it. He has done it. The Immortal's on the way. He's going for the pylon. The Immortal does pop in. But now we have another tank. GG gets called. And INexorable, he will take a 2-1 lead. Whew. GG. GG, well played. Again, for those who are curious, this was the same build. This was the same build as game number 2. It was the same build, but this time INexorable, he was able to preserve his army. He was able to consolidate his forces. This was the same build, but this time everything coming together here as one strong push. And because the natural base is more exposed, we spoke about this at the start of Ultra Love, actually. If you remember, it is more difficult to break the natural on Ultra Love because of the high ground. Remember, there's a ramp coming into the natural on Ultra Love, so it's more difficult to break that position. Here on Amygdala, it's all in the low ground. It's all in the same plane of elevation, I should say. So the natural is more accessible and more easier to assault or to be aggressive in. And we saw that he was able to get within range of the gateways, able to shut them down. This time he was able to preserve his army as well. GG. GG, well played. Much more successful execution of the build here by INexorable. And that leads us into game number 4. Oh boy. Leads us into game 4, and we'll see if INexorable can claim the win here and now, or if MasTeR can fight back. Also, of course, this time MasTeR, he wasn't getting SCV kills across the map. If you remember, the adepts were dealt with, and he did not kill workers. He got 1 SCV as opposed to the 5 previously. And here we go, spawning in the top left-hand corner of Whispers of Gold. We have the Brazilian Protoss player. Oh. The Brazilian Protoss, the blue Protoss representing Team Hellfire down in the series. We'll see if he can bounce back and force the ace match. It is MasTeR. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the red Terran player representing Alien Esports from Brazil. It is INexorable. INex. He needs one more game to claim the series. He is so close. Now, for the last 2 games, we have seen double gas openers out of our Terran player with the same builds. So it's been double gas into Widowmine Marine drop into the tank Viking push on 2 bases. We've seen that 2 games in a row now, and once again, double gas. Now, what's important about Whispers of Gold, it has a similar feature as Amygdala. What I mean by that, no ramp. There's no ramp coming into the natural base. True. On top of that, rush distance by ground is even shorter on Whispers of Gold. This is a rush map. This is the smallest map in the current tournament map pool. The smallest map, very short rush distance by ground. It isn't just that there's no ramp coming into the natural, there's no ramp coming into the linear third base, and the triangular third does have a ramp, but it's very large, very wide, and an all-inning player can always knock down these rocks and assault from multiple angles. So it is very difficult to defend on this map. We see often a lot of successful all-ins, and this goes both ways. Whether it's the Protoss being aggressive or the Terran being aggressive, aggression is favored on this map. I don't like the idea of INexorable doing the same build 3 games in a row. I do like that he had a different execution of it last time, but here I would hope to see something different. Just because at this level of play, like, your opponent is going to be more ready for it. Remember what happened last game? Last game, MasTeR, when he was caught off guard by the push, he was expanding. He was getting a third base. He was investing into a third base. He delayed his gateways. He delayed his robo. Like, he was being quite greedy. That also adds to why INexorable was so successful. I would imagine that MasTeR is going to be safer this time. It's going to be safer. He will delay the expansion, get a safety immortal, get safety shield batteries. I'm sure the MasTeR is going to be a little more unnoticed this time. Do you see what I see? No expansion. 1-1-1. One base all in out of it. Oh my god. Now, we did mention it. This is a rush map. This map is known for aggression. It's known for all-ins, and I was expecting a 2-base all-in. We'll do one better here. 1-1-1. Now, INexorable looks like he is going to expand. He does get a delayed CC here in the main, but this CC is so late. There it is. Command Center is on the way. Again, we prioritize the Starport before Command Center. This is insanely aggressive. And we're going for a Marine drop alongside a Hellion support as well. So very early push here from INexorable. Now, MasTeR, he doesn't know what's happening yet. He saw the double gas, but for all he knows, it could be the same build 3 games in a row. It isn't. But MasTeR is still piecing it all together. Adepts, they do go for the shade. MasTeR, he is checking the ramp, and he sees nothing. He sees late CC, he knows. He sees the Starport's already done. The Starport should not be done at this point. He knows his timings. Back at home, he's walling up. He's walling up, the Robo's on the way. Gateways are still in production. Here comes the drop towards the main. Hellions, they shut down the Adept. And back at home, the Gateways are just now finishing up. We need those warp ins. He has 1 Stalker. He has 1 Stalker to defend. The warp gates are just now warping in. He's going to have 3 Stalkers to defend. Army comes in. Bunker! He brought the SCV! Bunker into the... He's crazy! Bunker into the main base. Probe's gonna be going down. He gets 4 probes already. Does get 4, because I feel like the bunker's a little bit too far behind. But okay. Boys are being pulled. Marines, they kite back well. Oh, a lot of Marines are targeted. Does get 1 Stalker. And now he falls back. He falls back to the bunker. And the bunker is gonna cover the gases. It does cover the gas geysers, but again, that's just 1 hex too far behind to cover the mineral line. I feel like he could have been a little bit more assertive with this. I mean, regardless, he's getting probe kills. There we go, 3 probes going down. Oh my god, getting a 4th. At the same time, Hellies, they poke in towards that natural. Getting another probe, and another. And this is just so difficult to deal with here for MasTeR. I'll pick up Macro on the SCV. He has the repairs. Focusing on the Stalker. Gets a Stalker. Gets a Stalker as well. MasTeR in trouble. He's in trouble. He's being torn apart. Liberator towards the natural. 7 probe kills. Mining is denied. It takes down the Zealot. And these are slow lots as well. They're slow, baby. Slow lots are moving in. Marines are trying to tank some shots. They're trying to catch the Stalker. You see MasTeR trying to kite back. As the bunker does fall. Bunker goes down. And INexorable, he pulls out. MasTeR, he does hold, he does defend. Hellion dives into the middle line. Can he get the 1 probe? He wants it! He wants the probe! Can he get it? Not quite. Yeah, barely not. And as it all settles, where exactly are we? So we have a 3 gates blink. No, okay, 3 gate blink here from MasTeR. Blink is done. He has a robo, he's taking his gases, but MasTeR, his working on is not too bad. It looks like we have been missing some SCV cycles back at home, but INexorable, he does have his own 1-1-1. Oh, that's why! 3rd CC! Okay. I was curious where the money was being spent. INexorable, he already has a third command center already morphed into the orbital. Okay, I see you. So very greedy follow-up here, and he will get away with it. He will get away with it. MasTeR stuck at home, stuck being defensive. He now gets his own third, but this is a late third in comparison to his opponent. I should say this is a more regular third base timing at a MasTeR. It is INexorable who's been greedy. It's been very greedy here, and because look at all these mules. Like, the SCV count is low, but the muling is insane. So the mule hammer has been thrown down, and again, INexorable can make 3 SCVs at a time, getting to stim. Getting into mineric production. And INexorable, he is building up. And INexorable, he's in a better position. At this one, he is 100% in a better position here. Now, MasTeR, how do we recover? He's going straight into his splash damage. He's going into the bay, going and working towards Colossus. Now, there is going to be a window in time here. I mean, there's a couple different ways we can approach this. One, as we do see a scan, and INexorable, he confirms a third base. INexorable, he can just take his own third. He can just land his own third and get up to proper 3-base saturation, and he can be the first to max out. 100%. Like, INexorable, he can just play out a longer game. Or, upon seeing this, INexorable, he could try to push out a little bit earlier and try to break MasTeR before he hits critical mass of Colossus. But he doesn't know. He hasn't seen the bay, he doesn't know Colossus are on the way. He saw the third base being taken. INexorable, at this point, he should just play it safe. As he's building up, Stim's already done. Doesn't know he does. Does notice the Observer. Nice snipe. Observer goes down. Now, INexorable, he is aware that his opponent knows of the third. True. Third base not being taken. And INexorable, he should apply pressure to the third base of his opponent. He's moving out. He's moving out. Now, with the help of the Colossus, MasTeR is fine. Against this first wave of aggression, I say that Liberators do complicate things. Okay. INexorable, he can pop up. His army gets spotted. Scans at a time. The Colossus just barely out of scan range. Charge loss are seen.
You forgot to build the depots again, didn't you?
He's moving in. Does move in. Liberation has arrived. He has the freedom. Tank sieging up as well. But he is out of range of the expansion. Massive tank shots going up on the main army, denying mining time. Liberators are slowly pushing forward. They slowly get. Oh Jesus, that's a bigger jump. Does get within range, has to force a reaction, does force MasTeR to push in, and Zelda going down. And from here, can he get on top of the Colossus? It's going to be close. Now there's a Saint Colossus. Saint Colossus has arrived. Tank volleys are popping up, and MasTeR holds. MasTeR, he does hold on, he does shut this down. Again, that Saint Colossus arrives just in time to defend. And on the one hand, INexorable, he doesn't kill his opponent, that is true, but what did he lose? Looking at the trades here, actually, there we go. Looking at the trades, he lost mainly his bio army. There were 2 high-tech units, 2 Liberators. 2 Liberators went down, but they traded against 5 Stalkers, against 2 Immortals, and against all those charge lots. That was a better trade for INexorable. Likewise, he still has a better economy, bearing in mind he was also killing probes and denying mining, so INexorable is still in a better position. MasTeR is still trying to recover. But what MasTeR does have is Colossus. He has 3 Colossi. With that, he's pretty safe against most bio pushes, and it's going to be on INexorable here to get into his own Viking production. Speaking of, 4 Vikings already. He's got 4 Vikings. That isn't enough. He should be building up to more. Never mind. Oh my god. INexorable moving out. Zelda might get spotted. And the Zelds are going to get caught. They're going to be cleaned up. Some nice trades here from INexorable. 4th CC is on the way. Meanwhile, MasTeR, he's gotten his 3 Colossus, now working towards Disruptors. Again, the army here is quite small for MasTeR, but it's very intense. It's very efficient. There's a lot of like power units here in the army. Meanwhile, INexorable is up to 6 Vikings. I still don't think that's quite enough. As he moves out, there's Zelda on the right-hand side. Prism as well into the main. INexorable, he does miss this, and likewise the main base is exposed. Uh-oh. Yeah, Zealot Rombites, we've seen them win games before. They head into the main base. There is some production to defend. INexorable, for the most part, doesn't care. Yeah, he's just moving in. He's going for the kill. He will kill the expansion. There is that one Nova. Yeah, massive tank shots going up. Disruptor goes down, and he can just sim it. He can just sim and win. He sims on forward. Does he have detection? Up, up. Does he notice? It doesn't matter. GG, INexorable. He will claim the series. He will overwhelm. And INexorable will take the series 3-1, advancing on to the grand finals. GG. Whew, oh my god. GG, well played. Hyper aggression out of INexorable. Remember, this was a 1-1-1 on one base. Remember how late the natural was? And it was a build that, I'll be honest, I've never seen before. Like, I've seen a 1-1-1 before, don't get me wrong, into the early, like, drop play, into the early aggression. What I hadn't seen, though, was that an SCV was in the medevac. He had picked up an SCV, he had gone for a bunker in the main base, behind the mineral line. Part of me still believes that we could have thrown it down a little bit further forward, but regardless, it was very successful there. It did so much damage early on, it did set the pace of the game, and as a reminder, after the damage had settled, after the initial aggression had concluded, he already had a third CC. He had a third CC, so he had a better economy, he had a boosted economy, faster saturation at the natural, faster third base as well. He was in a better position, and that led into the eventual 3-base push, which didn't kill MasTeR, but it did cripple him. We mentioned at the time that sure, it didn't kill him, and sure, the Colossus survived, but he was able to take down all the Gateway army, he was able to take down all the Immortals as well. It was still a better trade for INexorable, just making sure that MasTeR just could not build up and could not survive. GG. GG, well played. Again, a very intense, very aggressive upper bracket finals, and that leads us into the lower bracket. So MasTeR is still in the tournament. It is a double elimination bracket. It is double elimination. INexorable, he's going to be waiting in the grand finals. We will be focusing, though, instead on the lower bracket finals. Oh boy. Here we go. Since Clem's still playing well, who is the best Terran? Cure? Clem is still the best Terran. Clem is still playing very well. What do you mean? what are you talking about? So yes, Clem is still the best player in the world. Oh. I don't know what StarCraft you haven't been watching. Just catching up with the chat. I lived Amber. Damn, crazy. INX dominated the other series. What a surprise. Yeah. I mean, again, typically MasTeR is favored. I should also emphasize that as well. MasTeR, he's favored over INexorable. I think that's also why INexorable was hyper aggressive, right? Like in all of these games, actually, we didn't really get into like a longer macro game state. It was just like non-stop aggression and pushes and just yeah, INexorable just all over MasTeR in this series. GG, well played. For now, though, we're going to be going on a break. We're going to be going on a short break, and when we come back, we'll be having the lower bracket finals and the grand finals thereafter. So we'll see you guys in a couple of minutes. We'll see you guys soon for some MasTeR versus AlisoN in the lower bracket. See you soon. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Ooh, hope you enjoyed that lovely brutal OST as we have returned. We have returned here with the lower bracket finals. We just wrapped up with INexorable versus MasTeR. It was an intense back and forth. INexorable did claim the series, making it to the grand finals. But remember, this is double elimination. Double elimination bracket, so MasTeR gets knocked down, and he's going to be facing off against AlisoN in the lower bracket finals. This is a rematch. We actually just covered these two. Remember, MasTeR completely shut down any attempted cannon rushes from AlisoN in their previous best of 3, but now they're facing off in the lower bracket in a best of 5. So best of 5 is getting ready here for us, and we'll see how this series unfolds. We'll see if AlisoN continues the cannon rush. Again, AlisoN, he is a very aggressive and very cheesy player, but he doesn't have to cannon rush every game. We could see something different, some other form of aggression from our Protoss. At least that's what I'm hoping for. Let's go. As we get into this, a big shout to Cyan in the chat. God, thank you so much. Thank you so much for the raid, Cyan. Or Cyan, thank you so much. Obrigado, obrigado. Bom dia, bom dia. Welcome one and all. As we are covering some Brazilian StarCraft, we are here in the lower bracket finals of Amantes number 37. Sorry, 38. Amantes number 37. I got 38. And here we go. Spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of ley lines, we have the blue Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss, the Brazilian Protoss representing Team Hellfire. It is MasTeR. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the other Brazilian Protoss player, the red Protoss representing Team The Bad. It is AlisoN. Here we go. Hydrate, Pappy. You're an animal, and animals, they need water. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Huh. Bam. Yes, always remember to hydrate. Ay, ay, ay. Gracias, Papi, gracias. So here we go. We are going to be settling in. And this time, do we get another forge? Again, AlisoN, for those who weren't here previously, AlisoN did cannon rush, or did attempt to cannon rush a MasTeR twice in their best of 3 previously, but now we're here in a best of 5. Probe Scout comes in, and AlisoN this time goes for a gateway. This time there is no forge. Double gas opener out of AlisoN, going for a very different kind of opener. It looks like AlisoN from here can go for a Cybercore back at home, proxy pylon into potentially proxy Stargate, proxy Robo, 2-gate. Okay, 2-gate opener. 2-gate openers all around. So 2-gate opener out of MasTeR, 2-gate opener out of AlisoN. The probe is hidden, and AlisoN setting up for a fake proxy pylon, not a real one. Okay. You have my attention. You have my attention here. As we are setting up, we are getting ready. Yep, there's the, I would say, fake proxy pylon, as it's thrown down here on the bottom right hand side of the map. It's thrown down bottom right. Now, this could be a location for a proxy Stargate, for a proxy Oracle across the map, or, I mean, the probe is being kept here, so I'm leaning towards Stargate play. The other option would be a Twilight Council into a Dark Shrine. Wait, Robo? Okay. I mean, this could be a 3-gate setup, proxy War Prism, not proxy Immortal. So this can still kind of work. It's a 1-base all-in, though. It is a 1-base all-in. We'll see how this all comes together. As MasTeR, he does probe scout, he does confirm the pylon is missing. He knows the pylon is missing, he knows the pylon has to be somewhere, so he does set up with a defensive Robo himself, going into defensive Immortal production. We can see MasTeR is hugging the edge of the map, and MasTeR, he will confirm the proxy. Oh, or will he? It's gonna be close. No, he was so close. He was rallied in. He does re-rally, he does reposition, and with that, MasTeR goes unscouted. But remember, sorry, AlisoN goes unscouted, but remember, MasTeR is already going for a defensive play. He's already opening up Robo. Meanwhile, it is proxy Immortal. That's crazy. That is insane. Ay, ay, ay. Okay, I mean, it's just so far away. Like, the rush distance by ground is incredibly long here for the Immortal. I mean, I guess the plus side is it never gets scouted, I suppose. But MasTeR is taking it very seriously. He is setting up. He is getting ready for the defense. Likewise, AlisoN moving in. He's got his Stalkers. He will have his Immortal support as well. MasTeR, he's got his own Immortal. Looking at the army sizes, we're neck and neck. There's the expansion for MasTeR. And we'll see if we can pull off this defense. It all comes down to the unit control here from our players. As a Prism is on the way to reinforce, rallying another Immortal as well. This Immortal is going to take so long to get onto the front lines. Meanwhile, MasTer's got a couple of sentries. He has a Guardian Shield. He has Force Fields. He has his own War Prism to juggle, to micro. To warp in as well. And this all comes down to unit control. Immortal's exposed. Oh my god. Oh, we fumbled the Force Fields. Ideally, want to lock down the Immortal. But doesn't quite lock it down. Force Fields get wasted. There's another sentry, another 2 sentries. 2 more Force Fields. He's got 2 more. MasTer's got to lock in. Better Force Fields this time. The last Prism can juggle back. Nice control. AlisoN, he does preserve his army. Does save his units. No one has lost anything so far. No losses, no kills. Shield battery is done. AlisoN moving in. Does move in, going for the Stalker. Still, the Immortal is going to be targeted down. Oh, a little bit too late. Yeah, Prism's out of position. A brutal pickoff. MasTer's in trouble. He's in trouble here. And losing 1 Immortal is huge. But the second shield battery has completed. That may still be enough. Likewise, backup Immortals on the way. But until then, AlisoN does have a big advantage. Pushing forward, takes down some of the sentries. And MasTeR is being overwhelmed. The Immortals are very low, though. Very low. Oh. As MasTeR holds the line, does get another Immortal. Speaking of, another Immortal coming in here for AlisoN as well. So pushing forward. Nice Force Fields. Oh, 1 Stalker goes down. Gets 1. Does not get the Immortal. Barely not. Going for the other. I'll pick up. Jeez, they're so low. They're so incredibly low here. Still moving in. Once again. Oh no, this is 1. He will lose 1. And he will not lose the other. It's still so incredibly close. 1 Immortal holding on for MasTeR. He's down to 1 Immortal. Up against 2. Here we go. Second Immortal has arrived. And throughout all this, MasTeR has a better economy. Remember, he has mining at the natural. He has a better economy. He can afford extra warp-ins. AlisoN moving in once again. He is up 1 Immortal. Has a better concave. Has a stronger setup. And this should be too much. I say should. I mean, he's still pushing into what? Soon to be 5 shield batteries? Jesus. It's a lot of shield batteries. Now MasTeR, he has his own 3rd Immortal. Uh-oh. Has a 3rd Immortal. Another shield battery on the way. What's scaring me, this is all powered by 1 pylon. There's 1 Artosis pylon keeping everything powered. This is a bit of a concern. Regardless, oh, nice Force Fields. Gets 1, gets 2 Stalkers. Just the 1, taking down the Adepts. Immortals are in the back line. Now moving in, taking a lot of hits, and oh my god. Clutch pick up micro. Still moving in. Once again, taking a lot of damage. He has to fall back. The Immortals are so low. 1 Immortal goes down. Massive pickup. He gets 1 and MasTeR, he holds. MasTeR, he holds. He shuts down the army. Again, the shield batteries that make sure that nothing goes down. GG gets called. And MasTeR, he will survive the all-in. He will take game number 1. Whew, GG. Again, those 6 shield batteries making sure that everything stayed up and running. Everything stayed powered. And nothing fell. At least when it comes to the Immortals. Like, nothing did fall. Towards the end there, MasTeR had a much stronger defense with 6 shield batteries. GG. GG, well played. MasTeR does take lead in the series, and we'll see if AlisoN can bounce back as we're jumping into game number 2. Let's go. We're jumping into game 2. Game 2 is going to be on King's Cove, one of the larger maps in the map pool. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of King's Cove, we have the Brazilian Protoss player. We have the red Protoss representing Team The Bad down in the series. We'll see if he can recover. We'll see if he can bounce back. We'll see if he can make a series out of this. It is AlisoN. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the blue Protoss player, the Brazilian Protoss representing Team Hellfire, leading the series 1-0. It is MasTeR. And again, AlisoN is hyper aggressive, hyper cheesy, going for the forge, going for the cannon rush. So cannon rush is on the way from AlisoN. We're back to what we do best. The cannons back. Let's go. Probe is moving in. Meanwhile, we do have the blind defense, cannon defense here out of MasTeR. Does set up on the high ground. I mean, again, this is a. I'm getting so much deja vu. Hi. As we had AlisoN cannon rushing previously the last time they faced on this very map. Second probe has arrived. And last time this was a proxy Stargate. So cannons into a proxy Stargate out of AlisoN is what we should be seeing. There we go, cannons on the way. Now this cannon was delayed here from AlisoN, so I'm a little bit concerned. There we go, second cannon being thrown down as Zelda's being chronoed. As the cannon might be within range of the gateway. Oh no! Oh, it's on the other side! Oh, a bit of miscontrol out of MasTeR. The Zelda's on the other side. So he's in trouble here. Yeah, the cannon is within range. Not like this. Gateway's under fire. Do you have a backup pylon on the way? I mean, the Stalker will help. True. Stalker will assist. Oh, meanwhile, the cannon rush. Let's go. MasTeR is in the. He's inside the house. The call is coming from inside the house, Pappy, as we do have the cannon on the way. MasTeR setting up his own counter rush. Likewise, defensive Stargate. No. Not like this, Pappy. Not like this. And here we go. Cannons are being thrown down. Now they're within range. They're within range here of the gas geyser. Pylons on the way. And MasTeR, he wants to try to force a reaction. There it is. Probe does poke in. Cannon's already done. And the cannon rusher is getting cannon rushed. Ay. Oh, the surround. It doesn't get it. Barely doesn't get the surround. And if these cannons can get within range of the mineral line, that's game. That's just game then and there. Like there's no answer. There's no answer. There's no response. Yep, probe's already going down. AlisoN going for the natural. Oh no. This tells us that AlisoN knows that everything's dead. Like, at this point, everything here, I should say, is going to eventually fall. AlisoN is going to try to recall his probes to safety, going for his own Stargate. But again, the Void Ray is already on the way here from MasTeR. MasTeR is one step ahead. He's one step ahead. His more probes going to be going down. And there we go. He's getting ready for the recall. Nexus is still not yet done. And again, all the buildings here will fall to the cannons. And the problem is that MasTER's already has that Void Ray lead. The Void Ray is already out. The Void Ray is already here. MasTER, he has not seen the Nexus. He doesn't know. Yeah, it does go for the prismatic alignments. We have Void Ray versus Void Ray, Shield Battery versus Shield Battery. Okay, he's gonna go down. There's a recall, saving the probes. Does save the workers this entire time. MasTER's been mining. AlisoN is not. AlisoN, he can't afford a second Void Ray. Ay. Yeah, only one Void Ray for AlisoN. Now we have two for MasTER. GG gets called as AlisoN just cannot keep up, and MasTER will take a 2-0 lead. GG. Ay. GG, well played. Again, a very, very strong response there from MasTER with the counter cannon rush, forcing the ninja base and just crippling the economy again for an extended period of time there. AlisoN had no economy. He had no mining because he had to pull the probes away from the mineral line, and because of that, he could not afford a second void ray, which means eventually he was overwhelmed. He was just overwhelmed. He just could not produce anything, and that was game. That was game then and there. And with that, MasTeR is up 2-0, and AlisoN has one final chance here to make a series out of this and to fight back and to force a game 4. As we're getting into game 3 is going to be on Amygdala. We'll see if MasTeR can extend this series. Sorry, we'll see if, I should say, if AlisoN can extend the series. So here we go. Spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Amygdala, we have the Brazilian Protoss player, the blue Protoss representing Team Hellfire, leading the series 2-0. It is MasTeR. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the red Protoss player, also from Brazil, representing Team The Bad. Down heavily in this series. We'll see if he can bounce back. We'll see if he can make a series out of this. The pressure is on. It is AlisoN. Here we go. So we are setting up here back at home on the high ground. Again, we'll see. We'll see what the plan is this time for AlisoN. What kind of cheese, what kind of all-in, what kind of aggression. No forge, no cannon rush. Not this time. Gases are being taken. So far, 2-gate opener out of AlisoN. The chances of this being a proxy robo is quite high. But we could see something like a proxy Twilight Council, Dark Shrine, Blink. There are definitely other ways to all-in on this map, or to all-in PvP. Different ways. There's a cyber core so far, mirrored builds, and our eyes are on this probe. As AlisoN moving in. There's the pylon. There's a pylon, there's a setup. And we are expecting a robo once the cyber core is done. Cybercore is a couple of seconds away. MasTeR, he of course, he scouts. He does see the pylon is missing, so he knows that there is a proxy. Cybercore completes, and proxy robo. One base all in, proxy robo, immortal production out of AlisoN. Now, this robo is closer to the natural base than what we saw previously on ley lines, so this is going to hit a little bit harder than previously. And we saw how close that defense was in game 1. As you can see, MasTeR, he's scouting, he's looking. He's checking for the proxies, he checks for the gold. Checks the gold location first. Then, of course, he moves out, checks the third location. He's being very thorough. Before checking the Zonaga. Stalker moves out, and Stalker will confirm, gets eyes on the robo, and even going for the pylon. Now, AlisoN does already move out with double Stalker. The goal here is to protect the pylon and to protect the proxy. Backup pylons on the way just to make sure. MasTeR trying to reinforce. It's going to be close. MasTeR, he does shoot first. Yeah, it does shoot first. Forces back his opponent. MasTeR throwing down his own pylon. GG gets called, the robo gets depowered, and with that, MasTeR, he will shut down the all-in before anything can happen, and MasTeR will claim the series 3-0. GG. GG. Again, good scouting out of MasTeR, and this is the downside of AlisoN, is that AlisoN, he's a little bit predictable just because he's always cheesing, he's always going all in. He can, of course, be successful with it, and we have seen AlisoN defeat MasTeR before, but here MasTeR, he was so on point. Likewise, it was fortunate that he was able to scout, not just scouts, also move out, respond with his stalkers, and shut it down before anything could be produced. GG. GG well played with that. We have our two finalists. MasTeR does claim the series. My condolences to AlisoN. AlisoN did make it far in this tournament, making it to the lower bracket. AlisoN, he will claim third place. But right now it comes down to the top two. Comes down to MasTeR and INexorable for the rematch. Let's go. We're getting ready for the rematch here between our Terran and our Protoss. Do need a moment to set things up. Do need a moment. And here we go. So this is going to be a best of 7 grand finals, but more importantly here, as a reminder, because INexorable is coming in from the upper bracket, because INexorable did defeat MasTeR in the previous series, that means INexorable, he already has a 1-point advantage. So he has a 1-point advantage. He is up 1-0, and the pressure is going to be on MasTeR to try to overcome that, as game 1 is going to be on Whispers of Gold. Let's go. Let us go. As spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Whispers of Gold, we have the Brazilian Protoss player, the Blue Protoss, representing Team Hellfire, fighting back from the lower brackets. He's here for revenge. It is MasTeR. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Brazilian Terran player, the Red Terran, representing Alien Esports. It is INexorable. Here we go. And again, the rematch is upon us. These two did face off earlier in the upper bracket finals, and INexorable did win that series, I would say, in an upset. Typically, I would be favoring MasTeR 100%, but INexorable, he was able to catch him off guard with some hyper-aggressive builds, with some 2-base all-ins, with some 1-base play as well, just non-stop aggression. Some games did lead into 3-base saturation, but that was after INexorable gained a lead early on. So he was just making sure that MasTeR did not have a standard, or did not have a comfortable start to the game. And once again, double gas opener out of INexorable. He does open double gas, which means faster factory, so a much more aggressive start already here from INexorable. Now, the last time we saw INexorable on Whistles of Gold, he did go for a 1-1-1 into an early drop. If you remember, that was the bunker in the main. That was crazy. But he set up the bunker in the main base. I don't expect the same build. I expect something different out of INexorable. And again, it's going to be up to MasTeR to keep up with the aggression of his opponent. Here we go. Oh, right. Also, there we go. Of course, INexorable with that 1-0 lead. There's that factory on the way. We'll see how MasTeR does approach this as well. So far, so good. I'm just going for a gate cybercore into expansion, so standard opener out of MasTeR, and again, a more aggressive start to play INexorable. So Reaper does move out. So we're just going to be scouting. We have our Sentry Base Opener out of MasTeR. This is already a change here from our Protoss player. Sentry Openers are very safe way to play this out, as opposed to the Adept Opener, which, if you remember, we had non-stop Adept Openers from MasTeR in the first time they faced off in the first series. Now, because of the Sentry, that means that he cannot harass across the map, he cannot apply pressure, but what can he do? Hallucination. He can go for the NG Overcharge, he can go for Hallucination Scout across the map to get a full scout of what's going on. And I don't blame him. Remember, last time we saw this map, INexorable, he went for a 1-1-1 on 1 base. So MasTeR is playing very safe, and he follows this up with a Stargate. Already. Remember, last series, only Twilight Council openers. Twilight Council into Blink every single game. This time, MasTeR, he's switching gears. Sentry opener into Stargate. Hallucination moves out. We'll get a full scout. Behind this, it's a factory into CC, into 3 ranks. Crazy build here out of INexorable, and the Hallucination doesn't go in. Ooh. There's no reason not to. There's no reason. We need to see this. We need to see this setup here. This is the beginning of a 2-base all-in from INexorable, and the Hallucination does not go further into the main. Ay, ay, ay. MasTeR, he believes he saw everything he needs to. Army dives in, going for the Sentry. Sentry goes out, massive pickoff. And without that Sentry, that means no second Hallucination. A Black Shield Battery's not done. Another Stalker falls, is already getting out of hand, going for the probes. Getting 1 and getting 2. He's not done. The workers are lining up. Heli volley's going up. Oh my god, brutal connections, getting 5s. This is game ending. This is already just insane damage. 8 probe kills early on. The Reapers, they survive, they get out. And remember, MasTeR, he sees nothing. The Phoenix is revealed, and he's getting ready for the all-in. He's getting ready for the all-in at this point. Now, when I say all in, this should be a stim timing. As a reminder, we are heavily delaying the starport. There is no starport, there are no medevacs, there's no air support yet. In favor of what? In favor of stim, combat shields, and mass marine. This should be a 2-base all in. INexorable, he will have the option to pull the boys. He could pull the boys with this. Now, we won't be hitting yet. We will be hitting with stim. And this is ideal against Stargate openers. In general, Stargate openers are very risky on small maps. The reason for this is because Stargate openers, what are they designed to do? They're designed to do 2 things: to harass mineral lines and to shut down drop play. And they're ideal on larger maps. On larger maps, when you have more room between yourself and your opponent, what Stargate openers struggle against are 2-base all-ins. And the reason for this is because what can they do? They can lift up 1 unit at a time. And when you're going for a stim all-in like this, what are you going to do? Lift up 1 marine at a time? When you have mass bio stimming forward and focusing down all the phoenixes, like they do nothing. They almost do nothing here in the defense. So everything is lining up for INexorable here. And he's already pushing. He's already moving out. MasTeR sees the move out. He does have a safety immortal on the way. That immortal is going to be the backbone of the defense here for MasTeR. He needs that immortal. Army's moving out. So we can see INexorable, he does not pull the boys. But this is a terrifying army already. Combat Shields is finishing up. Oh, it's the Dolan build. Lock-on here from the Cyclone. A scan to make sure Lock-on doesn't break. Gets 1 Stalker already. Shield batteries are on the way. That's a bit of an early siege from the tank. A little bit premature. Siege trying to drag the army within range of the tank. Shield battery's almost done. That's INexorable, still just waiting for reinforcements. Tank shot goes off. Tank volley does go off. We have a second immortal that's almost done. Stim is yet to complete. It does get 1 Stalker. And he will lift the tank, but he's going to get punished for it. 1 Phoenix goes down. Does get the tank, but another has arrived. Another tank moves in. Bit of miscontrol there from MasTeR. And there we go. He will siege. He's setting up. You can see him pull back here to protect the tank. Goes for the Phoenixes. I say that those shield batteries putting in a lot of work. Immortals, they're barely surviving. Nah, I spoke too soon. Immortals, they go down one after the other, and INexorable, he has done it. He has broken MasTeR. As the boys, they're pulled into the bio army. And with that, that's going to be 11 probe kills. That's 14! 14 workers go down. Now, MasTeR, he will hold. True, he's holding, he's surviving. Behind this, INexorable enjoying a greater economy. Third CC is on the way. Stim is almost done. Remember, this was hitting without stim. This is all without stim. MasTeR, he survives. He's getting a second robo. Scan reveals second robo, and the Bay does reveal Phoenix Colossus. And now it's going to be on INexorable to defend. Now, MasTeR, he has built up a decent Phoenix count. He cannot fight the main... he cannot fight the main army, but he can get some SCV kills. And it is imperative that that MasTeR, he does find some worker damage, and he does slow down the Terran in some way. He's moving in. He will get eyes on the 3rd CC. And he will delay. INexorable moving out. He will lose a medevac as a result. Interesting move out here from INexorable. He's forcing the Phoenixes to respond. Back at home, I mean, INexorable, he should be able to deny the 3rd. I say that medevac once again exposed. INexorable making some mistakes here. He does slip up. Does slip up. Now again, he should still have enough to break this location. As he's holding onto that stim. Still just rallying across the map. Hopefully this time he's able to protect and preserve those medevacs. INexorable has to calm down. First Colossus is soon to arrive. Now with 1 Colossus, this army gets deflected. INexorable, he will fail to break this. He retreats. He retreats, he pulls away. MasTeR, he is holding on, he is looking to stabilize. INexorable claiming his third. Now, INexorable, he still has a lead. That is true. Still does have a lead. But INexorable, at this point, he shouldn't fight anymore. He should not fight. He should not push into this. He needs to back off, build up his economy, work towards a Viking production, more importantly. And he's getting into his own ghosts, into his own EMPs. So from here, the game will calm down. INexorable, he did lose a bit of his lead. But he still has it. Now working towards a fourth base. Getting into 2-2 upgrades. And we're calming down. Calming down, we're settling in. And with MasTeR getting up to triple Colossus, he can still pull off a defense. It's still going to be difficult. Like, the big downside here for MasTeR, as you can see, is how small the army is. Sure, he has Colossus, he has Immortals, but the buffer, the support for these high-tech units is very low. He's relying on these Phoenixes to buy time. To buy time for Warpins, to buy time for charge lots. Likewise, INexorable, he should not push without Ghosts. Like, he needs those Ghosts, he needs those EMPs. Scans ahead of time, does see just additional gateways, sees more of the same. See INexorable trying to catch out those Phoenixes, not happening. Oh! These Phoenixes, they pull away. INexorable splitting up his forces. And again, it's on MasTeR to survive this aggression. I do think that INexorable, he's being a little bit too premature. I don't think he should push in. Like, at this point, like, it's not quite possible. He needs Vikings. Just now getting a second starport up and running. EMP doesn't quite connect. Does overshoot the EMP. Dropping in the main, gets completely shut down. Again, INexorable, he's being too aggressive here. He's going to be completely cleaned up. He did not have to be out here, out on the map. Ay, ay, ay. INexorable, he's losing that lead. He's losing his advantage. Now getting into 2-2. Again, he still needs time for these Vikings. His fourth base saturated. At this point, both armies are about to max. Both armies are going to max out. They do hit the fourth. Main army moving in, going for the sim. He does get the Colossus, not bad. It will catch one. MasTeR caught with his pants down. MasTeR out of position. Another EMP, good connections. And he sims in, and there's still not enough support. INexorable, he will break through. He will break through. GG gets called. INexorable, he does not allow MasTeR to stabilize, and INexorable takes a 2-0 lead. Whew. GG. Oh my god. GG, well played. That was a very tense game. Again, INexorable, he took a very strong lead early on, and we saw him fumble a little bit here, losing some Medivacs, losing some Marines, losing a drop even as well, but he was able to still just calm down, build up towards Ghosts, build up towards Vikings, and towards the end there, the game didn't have to end, but as we saw, MasTeR, he missed the army movement. He missed the dive right down the center. Because that MasTeR's army will split, his army will split in half, and INexorable, he could fight one half at a time. He was able to fight one half at a time, got the first Colossus. GG. GG, well played. Also, the Phoenixes were also out of position. They were across the map. And with that, INexorable does take a 2-0 lead. The danger Dolan design, yes. Let's go. The Dolan build. As this leads us here into game number 3. This is our next game. Going to be loading into ley lines. Oh boy. And once again, the trend of aggressive builds from the Terran continues. And we'll see if our Protoss can recover. As spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of ley lines, we have the Brazilian Protoss player, the blue Protoss, down in the series, representing Team Hellfire, down in the series. We'll see if we can bounce back and make a series out of this. It is MasTeR. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the Brazilian Terran player, the red Terran representing Team Alien Esports. It is INexorable. Here we go. So we're calming down, we're settling in. And again, last game was also very bold of MasTeR to go for the Stargate opener. We were emphasizing just how greedy it was for MasTeR to go for the Stargate play on Whispers of Gold. It meant that he really had a hard time defending against the first push, defending against the first move out, which did reset the immortal count and did do some crippling economic damage as well. Like, it was a very strong start for INexorable, but it wasn't just that. If you remember MasTeR, he went for a sentry opener, went for the hallucination, and the hallucination did not scout the main. He saw the edge, he saw the ramp, but he didn't go further back. He did not see the extra Vaxes. He didn't know how committed INexorable was. So MasTeR, he was also working with incomplete information at the start of the game. Information that he should have had, but he didn't. So he wasn't able to scout. This time, for the first time in a long time, economic opener. Ranks expand, a single gas opener out of INexorable. And MasTeR is here to pylon block. He's here to block, he's here to delay. Trying to force INexorable off center. And he will have to be. And there it is. CC is going to be off center. Second worker comes down. And now MasTeR can more comfortably get into his build. So for a number of games in a row at this point, INexorable, he has gone for double gas openers, but here we're calming things down, we're going for something more economic. This tells me that MasTeR is going to have a little more freedom in the early game, and MasTeR can comfortably get into his own tech and build of choice. Now, because INexorable has been so aggressive this series, and even the previous series alongside it, this tournament basically has been so aggressive, I imagine that this is going to turn into a 2-base all-in. It still can. We'll see if he goes for a second and third racks before Starport. That's going to be the tell. If not, we'll just get into a standard game. If not, we'll just get into a standard setup. Twilight Council opener out of MasTeR, getting into Blink. Reapers being active. And it is going to be a Starport, not a second racks. Okay, so a 1-1-1 here by INexorable. So it looks like just a standard opener. Getting into reactor marine production, Hellion, potentially into Widowmine drop. Everything so far just looking normal, looking standard. As standard as you can get in this matchup in TVP. Which means MasTeR, he can just chill, he can just get into his own Blink. Blink is on the way, Gateway is being thrown down. Whew, we can take a breath. We can calm things down, we can take a breath. Likewise, Reaper gets behind the mineral line. Is going to be shut down. Adept likewise being shut down as well. A nice movement there by INexorable. Very nice. Chasing down the Adepts. And we actually saw this the last time we loaded into ley lines. It is going to be a Raven opener out of INexorable. Now, last time we did see Interference Matrix be researched, which I was not too fond of. This time there is no Matrix, and the Raven can be used to harass across the map and to catch out the first observer. Assuming we get one. Meanwhile, MasTeR getting to 3-gate blink. So 3-gate blink, Robo not taking his gases. This tells us he's going for a third. There we go, third base is on the way. MasTeR getting to the mid game. And this is where MasTeR thrives. Like, if he can comfortably get into a 3-base economy, I do favor him over INexorable. As INexorable is moving out, going for some auto harass. I mean, on no mind drop. Raven into the natural. MasTer's in position. Does blink in. Chasing down the Raven. As Raven does get away. Takes a lot of hits. But does pull away into the corner of the map. Meanwhile, we can see here a tank is in position. There's a salvage. INexorable, he realizes that the stalkers are being kept at home, which means MasTer is not pushing out, and we're rushing into a third CC. So we're getting to a normal standard game. We're getting to a macro game. Alright, so for me at least, as a viewer, as a fan, INexorable, he is, I mean, now it's his time to show us what he's made of here in a standard game. So far, every time that he has beaten MasTer so far in this broadcast has been off of an aggressive advantage, right? Has been off of catching MasTer with his pants down, or getting an early lead with early aggression, or even just committing to an all-in. That's typically how he's been leveraging these wins. But here, we're getting into something more passive, something more tentative, something that's just a little bit slower here to really get going. So now he's going to be facing MasTer at his strongest. As MasTer's throwing down extra gateways, getting a bay, working towards Colossus. INexorable going for his own double drop. He gets spotted by the Observer. Yeah, MasTer, he responds. He responds to the drop. The Observer sees all. MasTer, he does attempt to intercept. As we can see, the drop does double back. The Observer gets caught. Massive catch. Does pick off the Observer. MasTer still looking for the drop that doesn't exist. And INexorable, he does move out. Unscouted. Uh-oh. Yeah, just using the vision, using the information against MasTer. MasTer, he doubles back. And INexorable, he can sneak up on the fourth. Uh-oh. Can sneak up. Stalkers are revealed. INexorable, he has to respond. They're pulling back. And this base is going to be denied. Massive pickoff. He denies the fourth, but can he get into the third? That's a better question. Scans at a time. Cleans up all the Zealot Stalkers out of position. They recall back home. But they recall to the natural, not to the third base. Meanwhile, there's a cancel on the expansion. Tanks will siege. MasTer is in a bit of trouble here. Tank volley is going to be going up. Yeah, massive connection on the Stalkers. Stalkers, they all go down. Yeah, cleans up all the Stalkers. Now going for the Immortals, but only Marines left. Boosting forward? Yeah, he's crazy. B boosts in, he will lose everything. Instead of boosting away, and this is now not as worth it for INexorable. He will lose everything. Sniping the fourth base was solid. Trading against the army was fine. But boosting further in, he lost everything. Oh boy. And now here comes a counterattack, and there is nothing to defend. What do we have? We have 3 Marauders, a couple of Marines. That was the equivalent of like a Patience blink. That's the equivalent of Hero blinking forward into tanks and losing everything. As INexorable, he boosted into Stalkers and lost everything as well. INexorable, he's got some bio army here to stem forward. Boys are being pulled. And he will lose so many SCVs in the process. That's going to be 14 SCV kills. Nice juggling here out of MasTer. And GG gets called. INexorable, he will lose everything. And MasTer, he will fight back. He will put a point on the board. GG. Whew. GG, well played. And again, initially, I was on board. Initially, INexorable, he did a great job at kind of juking his opponents, at deceiving his opponent, going for the drop, pulling back, forcing the Stalkers out of position, forcing the recall, sneaking up on the fourth base, canceling the fourth base as well. It was all solid, and then he overextended. He overcommitted, he lost everything in the process. And GG. GG, well played with that. MasTer does fight back, and we have a back and forth. We have a series. Here we go. Up next, we are going to be loading into Ultra Love. Up next, we have Ultra Love getting into game 4. And we'll see how our players do adjust. As spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Ultra Love, we have our Brazilian Terran player, the Red Terran, leading the series 2-1, still maintaining the lead. Can he extend that lead? Representing Alien Esports, it is INexorable. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Brazilian Protoss player, the Blue Protoss, representing Team Hellfire, fighting back, putting a point on the board, and potentially beginning his comeback. It is MasTeR. Here we go. Is the comeback real? Is it real? Let's go. As we do load into, I would say, a smaller map, I would expect to see a double gas opener this time, but we'll keep an eye on INexorable. Yeah, there we go. Double gas opener out of INexorable. This is what he does best. It is going to be a more aggressive start. I mean, I say it's what he does best. Again, I'm not opposed to how he played out that last game. Like, I'm on board. Like, everything was solid, everything was good, until he kept going into the third and even further into the main. Like, that just calm down, Pat, calm down. Okay, INexorable, he got a little bit too excited. A little bit too excited. As the probe does dip in, and MasTeR does confirm. He is aware of the double gas. He is aware of the build of choice. It just confirms the factory. And we should be seeing a safe opener out of MasTeR. When I say safe, I mean blink with extra gateways, like a 3-gate blink, into potentially even extra gases at the natural, into a faster robo. And we'll see. We shall see. As INexorable, he does move out. Does move out. CC on the higher ground. He's not going for a 1-base all-in. He's not going for a faster starport. It'll be after the command center instead. So this is not as dedicated as we have seen previously. Meanwhile, Twilight Council opener out of MasTeR, going into blink. Going into blink stalkers. Again, we do expect extra gateways here at the natural. And we'll see what this turns into for INexorable, as he does open up a reacted marine. So reacted marine into Hellion, into marine drop, I would imagine. We have seen this already in the previous series and already in this series as well. Yeah, setting up for the early drop. So it's going to be marine. It's going to be marine Widowmine drop with Hellion support as well. Previously, this led into the eventual tank push with Vikings. So we're expecting a tech lab after the Widowmine. Into tank production. If so, that would be, I believe, our third time seeing this build. Yep, there it is, tech lab. Tech lab is on the way into tanks. There's a Viking support. Yep, this is the same build. Same build. We've seen this, I want to say this is our 4th time today, actually. If I'm not mistaken. Either our 3rd or 4th time that we're seeing this build. I think third time. Because we saw it twice in the previous series. First time failing, second time succeeding. And so we get the drop here into the natural. Creating an opening. Widowmine here over the army. He wants either a stalker or an adept. Oh! Massive connection! 4 probes go down. And nicely done here. Does not get the stalker, but does get 5 probes. And from here, MasTeR, he will defend as Shield Battery putting in a lot of work. And INexorable, oh my god, he does not get out. Massive pickup. And initially it was good damage. 5 probes was solid, but he will lose everything. And with that, INexorable, he has lost momentum. Ideally, he wanted to push here with his tank, but now he cannot. Now he will keep the tank back at home, and he's stuck at home as well. So solid defense here from MasTeR. The game will continue. Robo is on the way. And INexorable, he has to take a more defensive stance instead, rushing into a 3rd TC. So 3rd TC here from INexorable. Viking dropping into the main. But this is a very rough start for the Terran. As MasTeR is patrolling, is in position. Again, thankfully MasTeR had the safety shield battery. If it wasn't for that, then we would have seen a very different kind of defense. Much more difficult defense, I should say. As MasTeR is poking in. Does poke in. He won't be able to break this setup. Again, INexorable, he's just turtling. He's just turtling up back at home. He's rushing into a third CC. This means that MasTeR has free reign. He has map control. He's containing his opponents. He can take a third base. He can saturate his taking up, taking his gases into Colossus, +1, charge. MasTeR is looking solid. And again, it's INexorable who's in a little bit more trouble here. As he does scan, I believe he will get eyes on. He sees the robo, not much else. Does miss the tech in the main. MasTeR just getting fully saturated, containing his opponent. Just looking to contain. And, I mean, INexorable from here, he's not going for an all-in. Now, he has hidden the CC, so MasTeR, he might actually misread this. He does not see the command center here. He does not know how greedy or how economic INexorable is being. I'm loving the SimCity, by the way, as he does catch the Observer. He just has a full wall, just cutting this area off. And he's taking, like, INexorable, he's not going for an early push. He's taking up quite quickly here into a hidden Ghost Academy behind the natural mineral line. So hidden Ghost Academy, Viking production has begun. Basically, he's just rushing to a third base, rushing into Ghost, rushing into Vikings, and taking up. It does mean that right now, INexorable, his army is quite weak. It's a little bit lacking here. But it will snowball out of control once he gets his third base up and running. But now he breaks out. We have a Zealot runway getting ready towards the left-hand side. INexorable, he should set up here. Zealot will distract. Keeping him busy. 1-1 is done. We're waiting for those ghosts. INexorable, he does go for the early push. As he moves out, there we go. Zealot will distract. Zealot keeping him busy. Trying to keep up. Main army pushing in. Nice hold here at the bridges. INexorable, he does hold the line. Does spot the army. And there's no way through here for MasTeR. Zealot should be cleaned up. One Zealot gets into the mineral line. INexorable, he holds the line. Ghosts have arrived. And now that he has Ghosts, and now that he has a couple of Vikings, now he has the real strength in this army. Now he has EMPs. He has an answer for the Colossus. Once again, he does run into more Zealots. They just keep running in. And as INexorable keeps up, a big shout to Blakadoo's in the chat. Yeah, baby God, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Blakadoo's, for the donation, for the $10 tip. Thank you, papi, thank you. Do appreciate it. Always, papi, always. Oh my God, there goes low! As 3 ghosts going to be going down, massive pickups. Yeah, rough movement there from INexorable. He gets called out, so many ghosts go down. And INexorable, he does fumble the push. Back at home, he will defend. INexorable, he's not backing off, he's still moving in. Sieging up those tanks. Does get the EMP off. Not bad. Lands 1 EMP on the Colossus. Zealot, they're getting ready for a flank. INexorable is getting in position to defend against it. Nice EMP on those Zealots. Colossus, they do file in. And MasTeR, can he break this position? Yeah, tanks are being targeted one after the other. Every tank goes down. Massive pickups. And MasTeR, he holds. He shuts down the army. Again, he caught out the ghost earlier. Nova goes off. Doesn't connect. But there's just not enough here. Not enough fire, not enough marines, not enough marauders. MasTeR, he will overwhelm. And we are looking to tie this series up. MasTeR was down to 0. But he's bringing it back. He's bringing it all the way back here. Again, INexorable, he had a rough start to this game with the initial failed drop. MasTeR, he's on 4, soon to be 5 expansions. Getting a 5th base. Terran is still on 3. 4 CCs on the way. INexorable is trying to macro out of this, but again, INexorable, he is down 40 supply here. He's down heavily when it comes to the army. He's buying time, rolling up. But MasTeR's looking terrifying. And he's looking terrifying here. Knocking down those rocks. Behind this, no tanks, no widow mines, no factory-based units. Never goes off. Oof. Takes down a couple of marines. A couple of marines are going down. Pulls away. Building on more disruptors. Second Robo's in production. Dark Shrine as well. Ay. MasTeR moving in. And INexorable, he just can't keep up. MasTeR, he's maxed out. He's maxed out. 200 supply. Novas, they pop up. They just zone away the ground army. Time and time again. Novas, they connect. Ay. They do connect. Massive connections. GG gets called. And MasTeR ties up the series 2-2. GG. We have a back and forth. We have a series. We are tied up. Again, INexorable just had a very rough start to the game. Remember, he went for a 1-1-1. He went for a double gas opener into an early drop, and he lost everything. He lost the entire drop. He lost all the marines, lost the widow mines. He was forced to be more defensive as a result. He did build up on 3 bases into a pretty hefty army. I did like his overall ghost and Viking timing. But if you remember, before the fight occurred, he got caught with his pants down. He lost 3 ghosts trying to push through the center. He lost some very valuable units, and those would have been 3 more EMPs, right? Just 3 more ways to zone and other ways to just strip away the shields and get a better fight. It was a brutal loss there for INexorable. And with that, we're getting into game number 4. Up next, Amygdala. Let's go. We're loading into Amygdala here. And we'll see if INexorable can bounce back, or we'll see if MasTeR will maintain that momentum. As spawning in the top right-hand corner of Amygdala, we have the Brazilian Terran player, the Red Terran, being forced into a tied series. Again, he had momentum. Can he bring it back in his favor? For Alien Esports, it is INexorable. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Brazilian Protoss player, the blue Protoss representing Team Hellfire, bringing us back here, winning 2 games in a row. Momentum is on his side. It is MasTeR. We go. So calming things down, we're settling in. Welcome one and all to Amygdala. Amygdala, of course, is one of the largest maps in the map pool, one of the larger maps. And we'll see how our players will approach this, as INexorable, despite that, goes double gas. Double gas opener out of INexorable. Now, the last time we saw INexorable on Amygdala, he did go for a... not quite the 1-1-1, that was on Whistles of Gold. But we did see an aggressive build out of our Terran. We'll see if he does it again. So double gas into a faster factory. As the probe gets locked in, MasTeR is going to be forced to use a recall to save the probe. As there is no way out for said worker. We'll confirm the factory at least. And we'll even force an SCV off the mineral line, so it is forcing some inefficient mining. It's getting some damage done. There's the recall. Does recall back home. We'll save the probe. For those that are curious, it is more efficient to recall the probe and to save it instead of using that energy on a chrono boost. It is more worth it. It does save the worker. Likewise, Reaper moves out. It is going to be a very early, insanely early tech lab. Okay, we're not going Reactor Reaper Hellion, really early tech lab into an early tank. I would imagine we can go tank or cyclone. Tank or cyclone into a starport, into early drop. Hyper aggression here from INexorable, a build that we have not seen from him yet in this tournament. So it is going to be early cyclone. Getting to early cyclone production. Meanwhile, Twilight Council opener out of MasTeR. Ooh, Cyclone into a second Rax. This screams 2-base all in. As there is no starport, we spoke about this earlier, but we are heavily dealing the starport in favor of more Marines, of early stim timing. Ooh. I'm assuming we're going to get a tech lab. Yeah, we're going for the third Rax as well. Yep, 2-base all in out of INexorable. And MasTeR, he did not open Sentry. He opened Adept. And hey, to be fair, the Adept is getting some damage done. But the Cyclone is revealed. This is already a bit of a tell. Now, the problem here is that this could still be a 1-1-1 Cyclone drop, for example. There could be a starport here to get ready for some drop play. This is not a sign of what we're seeing here with extra Raxes. Extra Raxes into early tank production, into an abundance of Marines. So MasTeR still has no idea what's happening. Back at home, safety shield battery. Again, he's just getting ready for the worst. Safety shield battery. Robo as well. We do get the lock on. Up. The Stalker goes down. Massive pickoff. Cyclone gets away. And here come the tech labs. Here comes Stim. So again, this should hit with Stim and combat shields. And INexorable, he will have the option to pull the boys. He could pull the boys with this as well. As INexorable is setting up his tank, his goal here is to catch a Stalker. MasTeR taking his third. MasTeR still has very, very limited information. He hasn't seen anything since the initial probe scout into the main and the attempt. Now the Observer's on the way. The Observer should confirm. Meanwhile, Stim is already on the way. Stim is on the way. There's combat shields. Observer's moving out. Is there a world where the Observer gets sniped? No shot. If INexorable can, if he's looking at the same time, he's looking at the moment, at the right moment with that Cyclone, he can scan and lock down the Observer. Does he notice a shimmer? Does he notice? Up! Observer's moving in. He notices! Oh my god, he hides the Marines. He hides the Bio Army. Oh no! He hides it. Ay, ay, ay. MasTeR is getting his third, going for a Forge, is getting a Safety Immortal, and here he comes. Here he comes. The boys are being pulled 2-base all in out of INexorable. He did notice a shimmer, and he commits. And MasTeR, he's not ready for this. He's no shot. I mean, Stalkers, they will intercept, thankfully. Stalkers are moving in. Going for the Cyclone. Cyclone is going to start flying. Oh, but it barely goes down. Trades with the Stalker. Again, there's 3 tanks with this. SCVs, they do middle walk past. They're racing past the army. And remember, the third base doesn't really matter too much. It's all about the natural. And he ignores the third. Good call here from INexorable. He ignores the third base. He's going for the kill. He will siege up. And tanks do siege, zoning the army away. He's within range here of the natural. Stalkers, they're getting ready to move in. Massive tank shot. Oh my god, the tanks, they annihilate the Stalkers. Gateway goes down. Charge is not ready for this. Bunkers on the way. Stalkers are trying to catch reinforcements. They are trying to. They get 1 Marauder. They get 2 Marauders. But there's plenty of reinforcements coming in. Now, charge is almost done. Ooh. Some miscontrol. Charge almost done. Tank voice going off. Boys being pulled. And can he break through this? The Immortals are getting on top of the tanks. He gets one. One tank goes down. He breaks down one. He's going to get the second tank, the third tank as well. But there's still just so much left over. As another tank has arrived. He's going for it. Oh, can he save the Immortal? Can he save it? Oh, boys are being pulled. Barely does save the Immortal. The army's overstimmed. MasTeR, he's holding. MasTeR, he's holding on. Sniping that final tank was huge. And the longer this goes on, the better it is for MasTeR. Okay, he breaks down the first bunker. Army was out of position. He needs that Immortal. He does need the Immortal. Nice target firing on the Marauders. And with that, MasTeR is holding. MasTeR, he's holding on. He's doing it. Remember, INexorable, he pulled the boys earlier. He barely doesn't have enough. Again, losing that third tank was brutal. And that's going to be game. That's going to be MasTeR. He has a third. He didn't lose it. Remember, he saved the third base. He has a higher probe count. He has Immortals. He was so... INexorable, he was so close. He was so close, papi. Ay, ay, ay. He was on the brink, on the cusp of breaking his opponent. I do think the bunkers are too far back. The bunkers are too far back. The tanks, they were too far back as well. He wasn't within range of the pylons or the shield batteries or much of the natural. The positioning was not ideal. And with that, MasTeR, he's snubbling out of control. MasTeR, he now has a massive advantage, massive lead. I do like the build overall of INexorable, but I do feel like the execution was lacking towards the crucial moment. And MasTeR, he's now getting a fourth base. Now, the one chance that INexorable has here is to go for a second all-in. If he can pull off a second all-in, he'll have to pull all the boys again. He has to pull all the boys for a second time. INexorable, he does get eyes on this. Potentially not. I was gonna say, if he can catch MasTeR before the Colossus, but once that first Colossus pops, he's fine. Like, MasTeR, he's gonna hold. He's going to defend. INexorable, he wants the Observer. He will get it. And it's all or nothing here, but again, I don't have as much faith in this. Here we go, the boys, they're all going to be pulled. Every single one. That's why we have everything here. Yep, and there we go. Every single boy is being pulled. There's nothing left at home. Now, if he can get on top of the Colossus, then he can win the game. But there's force fields. Like, there's Sentry, there's force fields, there's the shield battery, we even have hallucinations. Army moves in, it gets spotted by the Zelnaga tower. The SCVs are a little bit too far back. They do get forward. They do rush forward here. Tanks do siege. Again, he wants that Colossus. They'll take him in from the flank, though. They're coming in for the flank. The Immortals, they hold their ground. And tanks are going down. Yeah, tanks, they go down. GG gets called. MasTeR, he does hold, he does defend. And MasTeR, he takes a 3-2 lead. Whew. GG. GG, well played. And again, INexorable, he was so close, Pap. He was so close. Oh my god, he did everything right? He was able to hide the all-in, he was able to snipe the Observer, he was able to get across the map unscouted, he ignored the third base, going straight for the natural, but again, I do feel like he did siege a little bit too prematurely. When it came to the tanks and when it came to the bunker positioning, it did feel a little bit too reactive or a little bit too sporadic, whereas I do feel like he needed to get into a better position to actually threaten the production and threaten the natural base. He was a little bit too far back, and alas, he wasn't quite able to get much done with it. On top of that, very important that we saw MasTeR get on top of the tanks when he did, specifically the third tank as well. That third tank was sniped barely towards the end, and with that, GG. GG, well played. A very intense hold. Very intense hold. And that leads us into game number 5. Whew. Oh boy. Leads us into game 5 here, and MasTeR is 1 game away from becoming our champion. We'll see if INexorable can force the ace match. As spawning in the top right-hand corner of Frostline, we have the Brazilian Terran player, the Red Terran, representing Alien Esports, down in the series, 2-3, after being up 2-0, by the way. We'll see if he can recover. We'll see if he can force the ace match. It is INexorable. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Brazilian Protoss player, the Blue Protoss, representing Team Hellfire. One game away from becoming this month's Amantes champion. It is MasTeR. Here we go. Ooh, as we load into a very large map. Welcome to Frostline. Frostline is a large map in the map pool, very large. Long rush distance by ground as well. But one of the big features, one of the differences between Frostline and, say, King's Cove, Amygdala, Neon Violet Square, compared to all these other larger maps, here we do have exposed third bases. The third base and the fourth base are very exposed, very open, very accessible, so 2 and 3 base all-ins can hit very hard on this map. They can hit quite hard. So we'll see what INexorable goes for as he does open up economically. Single gas opener for the second time this series. Mastery scouts, he confirms, no second gas. So Mastery knows what's going on. He's aware. He will immediately go down to block the expansion and to delay the economy. So it does move down. It does force the off-center expansion. It does force the CC off-center. And behind this Master, he can open up Stargate if he wants to. He can open Stargate, he can open Blink. The world is going to be Master's oyster. Again, Master, he can be very comfortable and he is free in the early game, as he has nothing to be concerned about when it comes to early game aggression. We can see INexorable is scouting for proxies, checking for gateways. And we're getting ready here for a longer game. So we have macro openers. Here we go. So just stretching. Don't forget to stretch. Don't forget to stretch, baby. Whew. As again, Twilight Council into Blink. From here, Master, he can even just cut corners. He can go 2-gate Blink into a third. He can play economically. Meanwhile, 1-1-1 out of INexorable. Just going for the 1-1-1. Wanting to be proactive with those Reapers or with those Marines. Trying to catch out that first Adept. But the second Adept has arrived. And INexorable, he will fall back to the bunker. So he does reposition. Shades do not get here in time. They will get behind the mineral line, but the last are going to be denied. Hellion has arrived. Oh! A Hellion runs into the Adepts. Rough setup here as the Hellion is barely going to escape. Just barely on 2 HP. Barely gets away. Does get away here. Likewise, going for a Raven opener, once again going into Interference Matrix. We actually saw this in the previous series on Ley Lines, if you recall. Interesting. So it does open up Raven. I said this before, I'll say it again. I'm not really too fond of going for Interference Matrix. Nowadays, there's just a little bit less utility with this unit, especially early on. Just because it's so common to open up Blink into Charge into delayed Colossus and delayed Robo units. But we'll see if it comes into play later. Meanwhile, how many gateways? We have 2 gateways here at the natural. We have 1 gateway in the main, so 3-gate Blink out of MasTeR. Technically, you can disable the War Prism with this. True. Can disable the Prism. And you can try to catch it out. As Mastery does claim the third. Again, he didn't take his gases at the natural, so he does rush into the third. And he will soon move out. MasTeR moves out across the map. INexorable back at home. He's getting ready here to receive. Okay, there's one tank in the main, a bunker at the natural. As a result, MasTeR could dive into the natural base. He can focus on that bunker, but there are more Marines in position. Scan reveals lack of gases. Going for the dive. Oh, not quite. Prism overextends. Yeah, Prism should not be here. Massive pickoff. Miscontrol by MasTeR. Does miscontrol. And now there's no high ground vision. Yeah, no high ground vision. Boys are being pulled to repair. Does focus on some of the Marines. The tank does move down to low ground. Some more boys are being pulled. Does force an overreaction here from INexorable. Does force that reaction. Raven getting in position. I believe there's one observer. The observer is at home. Likewise, so is the Prism as it is rebuilt. And there is nothing threatening the main. So far, good defense here by INexorable. So far, he does have a good defense. Meanwhile, MasTeR saturating his own third, getting into his own Colossus production. It's building up. It's building up. Prism towards the main. The army is ready for this. MasTeR rotates over. Up, blinks in. It does go for the dive. Tank is in position. Does threaten some of the production. And there's going to be a bit of an awkward defense here from INexorable. But he will zone this away. Will zone away. Going for a double drop. There is an adept in position. And the War Prism does scout this. And MasTeR sees, he knows. He lets INexorable know that he knows as well. Parking the War Prism over the medevacs. Vikings, they bait him in. Okay, not bad. Prism gets baited. Prism is going to go down. For the second time this game. And INexorable is getting ready for his move out. Now behind this, he's on a 5-rack setup. So 5 racks is we are reactoring out those Vikings. This is a hefty army for INexorable. He has been defending this entire game. Now it's time to break out, and the boys are being pulled 2 base all in from INexorable. Either he ends the game or he dies trying. Now back at home, I believe there is a Colossus. Yeah, there's one. There's one Colossus so far. But that's what the Vikings are for. As MasTeR does try to engage, the boys are going to be revealed. MasTeR has to cut back. The Colossus is already taking a volley to the face. One Viking goes down. A massive missile goes off. Yeah, with that, the Colossus, it gets disabled. Massive disable. Army stims in. Tanks, they're going for the natural. Second Colossus about to blow out. Oh, now there's 2 Colossus. Now there's 2 Colossi. Zealots, they charge in. Tank shots here on those Zealots. Stimming on forward, going for the Colossus. Colossus does go down. He gets 1. Takes down 1, dives on the Stalkers, and INexorable, he's done it. He has done it. He takes down the Stalkers. Rotates over towards the natural. Doesn't stim in yet. Oh, Zealots are coming in from behind. Uh-oh. They catch reinforcements, going for the tanks. Tanks, they move in. 2 tanks, they still stand strong. He takes down the Robo. And 1 Colossus, that's all there is. That's all he has left. And it's going to fall to the Vikings. It does go down. Massive pickoff. And we're going to the ace match. We're going to game 3. There's just not enough here. Zealots, they trickle into the bio. Tanks, they've done their job. GG gets called, and INexorable with the 2 base all in. He will tie things up. We are going to game 7. Whew, GG. GG, well played, MasTeR. He did not scout the move out. He did not see the boys being pulled. Likewise, because MasTeR lost both War Prisms both times, it meant that he couldn't counterattack, right? He couldn't counterattack with Zealots. He couldn't try to catch any reinforcements either. He was quite limited with the vision and with the presence that he had on the map. And on top of that, he got caught out in the open, right? If you recall, he was trying to be active in the center of the map. Once he realized the boys were being pulled, like, he had to get the hell out of there. He had to get the hell out of there. He had to pull all the way back home. No shield batteries, no stack defense, no nothing. GG. GG, well played. We're going all the way to the ace match. Whew, oh my god. And let's see how this story ends, as the final game is going to be on Abyssal Reef. Getting ready for that final game. We're loading into one of the largest maps in the map pool. Let's go. As spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Abyssal Reef, we have the Brazilian Protoss player, the blue Protoss representing Team Hellfire. Being forced into the ace match. Can he bring it back? It is MasTeR. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Brazilian Terran player, the red Terran representing Alien Esports, bringing us to the ace match. Can he go all the way? It is INexorable. Here we go. And personally, I just love how back and forth this has been. Again, coming into this, I was favoring MasTeR 100% in this series, but INexorable has shown us time and time again that he can take it to MasTeR. But now I'm concerned, because we are now loading into one of the largest maps, I should say the second largest map in the current map pool, second largest only to Neo Violet Square, and aggression is not favored here. Now, there's a lot of factors coming into this. First things first, we have a ramp. We have a very narrow ramp coming into the natural, so this is a very defendable natural base location. Very difficult to push up into this ramp. Likewise, because of that, you can very easily wall this area up, and you can focus your defenses at the third location instead. Third location also is very defendable. To push into the third base, you have to snake your way from the center up the ramp in towards that third, or knock down these rocks, or you have to come in from the right hand side, also up a ramp as well. It's just a very defendable location. You're very difficult to really engage. Likewise, the fourth base is right next door, the fifth base also right next door. It's a very easy 5-base setup here on Abyssal Reef. On top of that, long rush distance by ground. On top of that, we do have a lot of choke points in the center of the map as well to try to take some better fights. So all that coming to the conclusion here, it's very difficult to be aggressive. And INexorable, he's been nothing but aggressive. That's how he's been winning these games. Has been with 1 base play, 2 base play, early game, just aggression, crippling damage. We'll see how INexorable adjusts here on Abyssal Reef. For now, double gas opener. I believe this is scouted. MasTeR, he's aware. Double gas into a CC. So an aggressive start here, not all in. No, I'm still reminded of Amygdala. Like, the series could have been over by now in favor of INexorable in that Amygdala game. It was just so close, so intense. Aye, aye, aye. What race is Light play? Zerg. Unfortunately, no Eric here today. I mentioned before, no Eric in this tournament. Unfortunately. Here we go. INexorable going for his own 1-1-1 follow-up. Behind this, MasTeR, he does open up with a Twilight Council. Now, we should be expecting a 3-gate blink. Technically, because of how defensive this map is, we could see 2-gate blink into a faster third base. We'll see how economic MasTeR wants to be, or how safe he plays. So we are building up. It's the same build. We've seen this now. This is at least the 4th time we've seen this build. Going for the tech lab, rushing into the early tank production. Last time we saw this, we had early Vikings as well, but it's going to be a Liberator follow-up. So we've seen this build quite a lot already here, going for Marine Widowmine. We saw this on Ultra Love in this series, if you recall, where MasTeR, he was able to shut this down completely. Hopefully INexorable, he doesn't lose the medevac as quickly this time. As again, this build was shut down on Ultra Love. Medevac into the natural. Does unload. Army's out of position, busy in the main. So far, denying mining time, no major damage yet. Going for the warping, and Stalker gets one. Stalker goes down. Mine shot going up. Getting a probe, and INexorable, he does escape. He does get away. Now remember, this is not the purpose of the build. This is just distracting. This is getting early game damage. So far, 1 probe, 1 stalker. Nothing major. We've seen this do more damage in the past. We've seen this get 5 probe kills. What's important is the follow-up, the early tank push. Remember, tank production really early on. It was the initial Widowmine into Tech Lab, into 2 tanks, into an early push. And INexorable, he's setting up for it. Oh, nice positioning here on top of the ramp. Widowmine does set up. Meanwhile, the army's in position, going for the medevac. Medevac is under fire, and the medevac is going to be targeted down. Massive pickup. We do see the Marines A trade. They do get one of the stalkers. He gets one. Can he get the other? He can. 2 stalkers go down, so we do have a back and forth trade here. Mine shot going off as well, getting another stalker. Yeah, that's 3 stalkers going down. And here comes the push. Here comes the main point of this build. It's all about that double tank push, that double tank timing. Second tank is moving in. Viking is here to land. Landed Vikings actually trade insanely well against gateway units. And MasTeR, he doesn't see this coming. Now, he is going to engage ahead of time. He's going to try to slow this down. Remember, Blink is done. MasTeR, he does get 1 Marine. Picks up a Marine. Gets another. Again, picking off whatever he can. Tank does siege. Tank, I believe, is not within range of any of the buildings, but is within range of the ramp. Oh my god, he blinks in. He's crazy. Does blink in. Gets one of the tanks, but he will lose all the stalkers in the process. Stalkers are going down one after the other. Massive losses here from MasTeR. He does get both tanks, though. It barely gets both. And remember, the backbone of this army was the tanks. And he holds. Whew, he does hold on. 0 tanks left. INexorable trying to move in. Shield battery is done. Again, that was a crazy blink out of MasTeR, but it was worth it. Upon sniping both tanks, there is a 3rd tank. There is a 3rd tank. But INexorable looks like he has recognized this push has failed. Is expanding. 3rd TC is on the way for INexorable, and was this worth it? In the end, I mean, he did trade and he did get 8 stalkers. True, that was a lot of stalker kills, but alas, MasTeR has a 3rd. He has a 3rd base, is getting fully saturated. MasTeR, he has the greater economy, getting his 3rd base up and running, throwing down extra gateways. So MasTeR comes out ahead. Sure, he may have lost some stalkers, but he can afford those losses. He can't afford it behind it, so going to his own safety immortal production, working towards charge. So we should be seeing charge, forge, +1 into delayed Colossus. And the pressure is on INexorable. Now, one thing I will say is because the map is so large, even though INexorable, he didn't get the damage he was hoping for, the ability for INexorable to recover and to get into the mid game is higher here just because aggression is more difficult to pull off. We mentioned this earlier, scan into the 3rd base, gets eyes on saturation, but INexorable, he should be able to freely take his 3rd and saturate, but even though that's possible, MasTeR should be the first player to take a 4th, to get his 4th base up and running, to get it also saturated. MasTeR, he should be able to gain map control, and it should be on MasTeR to contain INexorable on 3 bases. Oh, as he does overextend. But again, it should be on MasTeR to just contain and to keep INexorable on a low base count for as long as possible and take advantage of the map and snowball out of control from there. It's a dynamic we see very often on these larger maps, whether it's King's Cove, whether it's Amygdala, Abyssal Reef, Neo Violet Square. MasTeR, he shouldn't be afraid to mass expand. Oh. Setting up spoiler pylons. Charge on the way. There's the bay for Colossus production. Do you see INexorable hoping to catch the Observer? Observer over towards the left-hand side instead. Keeping eyes on any kind of drop play. Ghost Academy is on the way for INexorable. So the next big power spike for INexorable as he's getting up to a 3-base economy is going to be the Ghost production. Ooh, as the medevac gets spotted. Again, shout out to the Observer. Observer does spot the medevac. MasTeR is aware. But Ghost production is soon going to be on the way. Viking production as well. So INexorable, he will have a comparable army. And MasTeR, he hasn't expanded yet. By this point, he totally could have. He totally could have taken a 4th base. As again, he's successfully containing his opponents. So late 4th base out of MasTeR. Meanwhile, remember, he did see the drop. Does shut it down. INexorable trying to break out. MasTeR playing this out very safely, going for Colossus production, still no expansion. But here comes a push. Here comes a push. INexorable, he rallies everything across the map. What does he have to work with? He has 2 Ghosts, he has 7 Vikings. So he's going to have 2 EMPs. Now, because he didn't take the expansion, there's no shield batteries. There's no shield batteries here to support. Again, it's a late expansion, so he won't be able to take advantage of this when it comes to the defense. The boy, oh my god, the boys are here! He's going for the all-in. The boys have arrived. MasTeR, he had no idea. I mean, I had no idea. I did miss this as well. The boys are here. Mindshot going off. Ooh, brutal friendly fire. Colossus under fire. Colossus goes down. Yeah, Colossus does crumble. Charge also gets stuck behind the army. Vikings, they come in from behind. We get a full surround. And INexorable, he's done it. He locks down the army, takes down the immortals one after the other. There's one immortal left. Oh, barely does escape. But INexorable, he's done it. He's broken the back of MasTeR. He is heavily overstimmed. But he's breaking. Geez, he stims again. Oh, good. He is overstimmed. Colossus is on the way. He will take down the third, but the third doesn't matter. The third doesn't matter here. MasTeR, he has to buy time, picking up more Marines. Does pick up more Marines. INexorable, he pulls away. Did kill the third, did deny the fourth. He has to be careful, the Colossus will soon arrive. And INexorable, he has to keep going. He cannot back off. He is completely all in. Nice force fields, locking down the army. Oh, popping up. Popping up does save the fire. Colossus does overextend the Colossus. It's going to be hunted down. There's no shield battery. The Colossus goes down for free, Bobby. Colossus does crumble. But the longer this goes on, the better it is for MasTeR. Can he buy more time? He's getting more warp-ins. Oh, nice EMP. EMP goes off. Stealth, they should be cleaned up. And INexorable, he's doing it. He barely, he breaks through. GG gets called. He breaks the back of MasTeR, and INexorable with the all-in. He does take the series 4-3, becoming this month's Amantes champion. GG. Ay, ay, ay. GG, well played. Congratulations, INexorable. Ay, 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 papi. Oh my god. INexorable here. I mean, the game was slowing down. He was getting his third base up and running. He did have that timing with those 2 ghosts, and he went for it. He had 2 ghosts, he had 7 Vikings, and he just pulled all the boys. And MasTeR, he didn't see it coming. He did not see it coming. If you remember, MasTeR at the time, he was distracted sniping the Windmine drop. His stalkers were towards the south side. He was still building up. As you mentioned, MasTeR, he was playing it safe by delaying his 4th base for a long time. That is true. He was securing himself by getting earlier Colossus. But because he didn't see the move out, he had no defensive structures. He had no shield batteries. He was lacking side defense at the third, at the natural. Likewise, because he didn't see the boys until they were already in his face, he was caught off guard. He was a little bit too proactive when it came to his army. He got surrounded. GG. GG well played. An intense final game. INexorable is our champion. And I just appreciate how close the series was. It was very intense, very back and forth. INexorable was, of course, very aggressive, but different forms of aggression, right? Like 1 base play, 2 base play, 3 base play. Very little like straight up macro play, not at all. We had a lot of timing attacks and a lot of aggression, and yeah, MasTeR, he was keeping up for the most part. He was able to keep up. He was able to go blow for blow. I was favoring MasTeR when it came to a standard game, but we never really had a standard game here at any point in this series. We never really had like a standard kind of coming into the mid game, coming into the late game. We never had any late game either. We never got there. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations here to INexorable, and a shout out to MasTeR as well for making a good series out of this as well. It's one of those things where you don't make for a good finals with 1 player, you make it with 2 players. Like it was MasTeR and INexorable that came together to make this series possible. So GG. GG, well played. A big shout out to our top 2. Congratulations to INexorable for becoming our champion, and shout out to MasTeR for claiming that runner-up spot as well. GG. GG. Just catching up. Jesus, so many Brazilian tournaments. There's a lot, right? There's Code for Giants Cup, there's Amantes, there's the Host Open, there's also the Hellfire Cup, so that's 4, and there's also the Brazilian StarCraft 2 circuit. El Circuito Brasileiro. there's quite a lot happening in the Brazilian scene. I mean, a lot of these are like monthly tournaments, or like, of course, like the end of year finals for the Brazilian circuit. But shout out to the Brazilian scene and the Brazilian community for making all that possible. They're very passionate coming together. And what I will say, Este Webito in the chat, is that I would say the Hispanic region is kind of catching up with that as well. I think the HSL is a really nice start. Like the HSL coming out and also being crowdfunded is, yeah, really good start here when it comes to bringing back Latin American StarCraft. And I'd like to believe that we might be seeing some maybe more Latin American centric tournaments in the future as well, especially with the success of HSL. I think there's more incentive for that sort of thing. We'll see. Oh. Can't I just have residency? Este Webito. Time to marry in. To be Brazilian. Aha. Let's go. Find INexorable. You can do it, Pappy. You can do it. Este eggs. But GG, well played, congratulations, and hope you all enjoyed yourselves. Yo, shout out to Sinistro in the chat as well. Ah, Papi, obrigado. Bom dia. But GG, well played, and again, hope you all enjoyed yourselves. As a reminder, Amantes of StarCraft, this is a monthly tournament. Every single month we have Amantes, but we might be going on a bit of a hiatus. As I mentioned before, today there was no code for Giants Cup because of the Brazilian circuit, and we might be delaying and postponing Amantes this month as well, also for the Brazilian circuit. So right now there's a lot of focus, there's a lot of attention on the Brazilian StarCraft 2 circuit, and that means that these open cups, the weeklies and the monthlies, might be on hiatus until it wraps up. Just as a heads up. Some ladder now. Oh god. Maybe. I might have a shorter ladder session this time. So when it comes to our schedule, let's switch our scenes over. Let's switch on over here to our schedule. Bam. Here we go. We just wrapped up with our Wednesday morning broadcast. We just wrapped up with Amantes. You can see later on tonight at 7 p.m. KST, that is going to be 8 p.m. AST. That's going to be 7 hours. In 7 hours time, we're going to be live with the Pondcast. That is our weekly talk show where we go over all the news of the week in StarCraft 2. The reason why I'm tentative saying that I'll ladder is because I do have to catch up on the YanXII interview. Right, he had a very lengthy interview. I think I'm halfway through. I'm a quarter of the way through. I'm a quarter of the way through the interview because there were 2 parts, and it's really interesting. It's really cool. Hold on. I'll show it off a little bit here. I'll show it off. Do I have the power? Do I have the technology? Let's see. Bam. You can see here, interview with YanXII about esports and the beginning of professional career. So this is a huge interview. Like there's like photos. YanXII, he goes into like the early days of Brood War, how he got into StarCraft, how he got into esports, his first tournaments, his first team, like the PC Bang experience. Like it's actually really in depth and really good. I like there's a bunch of like photos for context. There's some early like videos as well. Like it's huge. It's a huge interview, and then this is where I am. I'm like a quarter of the way through. Right here he's talking about like WSG, and he's talking about like 2003, and like there's just so much to this interview. Okay, shout out to YanXII, by the way. Shout out to YanXII. But that's what I'm currently reading. And we're going to be discussing it during the podcast. We also had the Fantasy interview. Fantasy had an interview as well with Zombie Grub, and we're going to be discussing that. Also going over early Brood War and the switch between Brood War and SE2. Again, that's typically the stuff that we discuss when it comes to the podcast, alongside all the weekly results. So look forward to that during the podcast. And yeah, I typically take notes whenever we go over stuff like interviews, things to talk about, things to discuss, and all that stuff. And I still have to finish it. I still have to wrap it up. I still have to finish it before the podcast so we can actually talk about it. So because of that, I think we might have a latter session, but it'll be a shorter one. It'll be a shorter one just because I do want to spend some time and go over the interview and you know, be ready for the show. Would be nice if we're ready for it. But that is the plan. Again, for the podcast, we just go over all the events of the week and any kind of news as well, any like roster changes and any other announcements. Of course, we do have tomorrow the Turtle Tussle. The Turtle Tussle is going to be tomorrow. We have the Rex April Madness Finals tomorrow evening. We have StarCraft Evolution League King of the Hill on Friday. We have Fire Cup playoffs on Saturday. We have SCL Kung Fu Cup and Sparkling Tuna Cup. Again, we are live twice a day, every single day. We have half a day off on Friday, by the way. But I have been recently streaming more frequently. I now have a reason to commit. Now, there are some downsides to it because I've been streaming and because I've been laddering a lot more this week. It means that I have less time to edit VODs and to schedule VODs, so I'm on a tighter schedule. I also have less time to sleep, so that's less than ideal. But I have reason to because I will be playing soon TM in a big brain bout show match, and I want to be informed. I want to be locked in for that sort of thing. So I will have some hours of ladder today, but only a couple, less than usual, just so I can catch up with the interview. That'll be the plan. That'll be the plan. Was a great interview. Yeah. Can't promise I'll be able to catch from the beginning, but I'll do it. It's all good. So do it off stream. Focus on the game. Yeah. For sure. Yeah. I'll read the interview off stream, of course, and I'll catch up on it. Oh god. But yeah. So I guess it's time. It's time to stream, time to ladder. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. Thanks so much for tuning in. Again, we're live multiple times a day, every single day. We have a jam-packed schedule as always. And again, we'll be live on this channel in 7 hours time. With the podcast. Otherwise, if you want to support us, you can do so via Patreon. !Patreon in the chat. And you will get a link to our Patreon channel, where we do where it all does fund our tournaments. It funds specifically Sparkling Tuna Cup alongside Duckling Open and Master Swan Open as well. It is all funded via Patreon. So if you want to help support us, if you want to help support StarCraft, the players and the community and the scene, you can do so via Patreon, as we do host events on a regular basis here on the CranKy Ducklings. So it's all available there for you if you wish. Otherwise, follow us. I know there's a lot of StarCraft going on. There's a lot of tournaments, there's a lot of content. It's hard to watch everything live, like the podcast, for example. So if you can't watch it live, then check us out over on YouTube. YouTube here, or socials. You'll get a link to all of our links, and of course you'll get a link to our YouTube channel as well. We do upload on YouTube on a daily basis. There's plenty of content on YouTube. There's plenty to indulge in, so check out our YouTube if you want to watch those VODs. If you can't watch something live, YouTube is the place to be. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks for the support. Hope you'll enjoy yourselves. And again, look forward to more Brazilian StarCraft, because there is a lot more coming up in the coming weeks and the coming months. There's a big offline event happening in Sao Paulo in Brazil. So look forward to that. We're going to be the official English casters for that. And we'll be featuring players like these two finalists, like AlisoN, like INexorable, like MasTeR, Eric, Kamikaze, YanXII, and many more. So do check that out. Otherwise, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time. I'm going to head off. I'm going to have a short ladder session, only for a couple of hours before catching up and getting ready for the podcast. So thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time. We'll see you either in 7 hours, or we'll see you tomorrow for the Turtle Tussle. Thanks for watching. See you soon. Pappy. See you soon.